This is trickier than I thought. The element is definitely out of date.
Why not let the wizard have a go? Now, all we have to do is cross-reference with the MedLab files, find the updated element number, log that with E-Systems, and voila. It's trickier than you thought.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We Are All Kosh.
a Babylon 5 rewatch. I was poking around on Facebook the other day, which is not a common occurrence, let me tell you. And somebody on one of the Forever Night groups was like, is anybody streaming as LaCroix? Can we make that happen? Can we have a Nightcrawler?
Oh, the Nightcrawler on Twitch?
And I was like, well, just like a podcast where, because he's basically a podcaster, right? So just composing a Nightcrawler-esque thing and then putting it out there. And I was like, oh my God, that's actually not a horrible idea. And anyway, that's how we end up with as many podcasts as we have. But I did say I'd have to get Matt to practice his smarmy voice. Do you have a smarmy voice?
Smarmy, like the...
Could you sound like the Nightcrawler?
I think so.
With practice or just...
With a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the incomparable Nigel Bennett, we cannot completely replicate. But could you get the vibe, I think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a thought. It's in the pipeline. Maybe when we're snowed in over the winter.
We'll have a lot of time over the winter.
So much time. So we're going to talk about Babylon 5, Season 2, Episode 6. Either a spider in the web or spider in the web, depending on where you read it.
Interesting.
And apparently this was a subject worthy of note because it made it to the forums. Is it spider in the web or is it the longer form, a spider in the web? Dude, it's one more letter. Just calm down. It's fine.
The spider in the web?
A. Not only one, but
I know. I was offering a third option.
A web of spiders? I don't know. It's fine. A spider in the web. It was originally released the 7th of December, 1994. And it had a P5 rating of 8.04, which this is a thing I have not talked about yet.
Hold on. P5 rating?
Yes.
What?
Okay, so I was poking around some more, and I keep seeing it, and I thought it was some kind of, I don't know what I thought it was, some kind of Nielsen rating or something, because, like, I don't know, I'm old enough to remember when they sent you the packet, and you put it on your TV, and you filled out what you watched.
For reference, I have never received a packet.
It was random, and I think we got one maybe twice. But we watched a lot of TV. Dad watched a lot of TV. So we would get these packets, and you were supposed to say how many TVs you had. And then you put the Nielsen packet with that TV. And every time you turned it on, you logged it.
Okay.
And you logged what you watched, and you logged how long you watched it, and, like, if you turned the channel. And I think there was a comment section for, like, why you turned it. And then you would mail that back in, and that's how they came up with their ratings.
That really feels biased against people with young children.
Oh, we absolutely did not keep up with the log. I don't even know that we mailed them back at any point.
So the only entries that get mailed back are purely the adult TV watching.
It was early days of data mining, okay?
Yeah.
They didn't have the whole thing down yet. But it was not, it turns out, something Nielsen related. This was a fan rating that was created.
Okay.
Called the P5 rating. And would you like to know how they determined this?
I would love to find out how they determined this.
Step 1, watch an episode of Babylon 5. Check, motherfucker. Got it. Number 2, send your vote on a 10-point scale to Mike100000 at delphi.com. And I feel confident putting that in there because there's no way that's anybody's real address still.
You would be surprised at the longevity of custom email.
Well, this was 2
addresses.
clicks away from being able to be. It's public knowledge. It's out there. I didn't have to dig for that.
It's in the form.
It's in the forms. All right. Tell me your real name. It can be in the .sig or header. I guess the signature.
Yeah.
Do not include any spoilers. Please tell me what episode you are voting for. If you send your vote too late to make a post, don't worry. It still counts for any future averages. I will allow vote changes, but please tell me you're changing your vote. Your comments, suggestions, and corrections are always welcome. So there was one guy that
They got a spreadsheet.
compiled the numbers and rated the episodes on like a 0 to 10 scale. And poking around, the lowest was like TKO. I think that was like 6-ish.
Okay.
Grail shockingly had a fairly high number, even though JMS references the P5 number, which is why I went back and figured out what it was and mentioned that like Grail and TKO were some of the lowest rated episodes.
Okay.
But that overall season 2 was trending higher. So this one was an 8.04 on the P5 scale. So
Good to know.
Fans willing to go through all of that felt it was a pretty good episode. This was written by Lawrence G. DiTillio, who we've had before. He did Born to the Purple. He did Deathwalker. He did TKO.
Okay.
He's the guy that worked with JMS on She-Ra.
So the best episodes.
The ones we've had the most fun with, sure. He worked with JMS on like She-Ra and He-Man. Okay, they're like old buddies. It was directed by Kevin G. Kremen, who actually directed 5 episodes. But he has more producer credits than director credits.
Okay.
Including on Babylon 5. He's like a longtime producer, rare director.
Okay.
He didn't have anything else that I was like, oh, that'd be fun to mention. So like he did fine, but he didn't do a lot. Michael Beck as Abel Horn was Swan in The Warriors.
I've still never seen The Warriors.
We went to that whole ass conference that had the Warriors, the whole cast of the Warriors or something ridiculous. And every old man is walking around in this leather vest with the Warriors signatures. And I was like, I should probably watch that movie at some point in my life, which means we could have met Michael Beck probably.
Oh, yeah. If he was the main character in The Warriors,
Show
then
up
he
and
would have been there.
Put a still from Babylon 5 on his desk. Can you sign this, please? He's only in this episode of Babylon 5, obviously, because he's dead when he arrives and he dies when he leaves. And he was Sonny Malone in Xanadu, which is another one that every time I see the cover of, I'm like, I should watch that. And then I just don't. It's got Olivia Newton-John in it, and the cover is like her spotlit with like her hair blowing back over a soft blue background, and that's it. And that's the only thing I know about the movie, but he was in it.
I conflate Xanadu and Zardoz.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and I'm always like, oh, is that the one with Sean Connery and a G-strap or whatever? And no, it's the other one. Not that one, the other one. Adrienne Barbeau plays Amanda Carter. She's in Escape from New York.
Okay.
Which is good. I mean, that's seminal. She's in a television show called Maude that ran from 1972 to 1978, and she was in 127 episodes of it. So she's a main character in it. She was Alice Cable in Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember her from that.
And she was in 2 episodes of Flipper in the 90s. So, hey, real well-rounded. And then James Shigeta is Taro Isogi. He was Takagi in Die Hard.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was General Lee in Mulan, the voice of General Lee. He was in 2 episodes of Sequest DSV.
Okay.
Which is a show that I bought on DVD. I watched it. I remember watching it. I remember really liking it. And I was like,
I remember we made an attempt to rewatch it around 2010, maybe.
Well, and then I got it, and I was like, okay, kids, you'll really like this one. It's like Adventures Underwater, and there's a guy with gills, and it's kind of fun, and hey, let's watch Sequest. And I put on the first episode, and it was like watching paint dry. I don't know if it needs to if it needs run up, but I was like, Why did I like this? I don't understand. It's fine. It's just really heavily political.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek in the oceans with more politics.
With way more politics.
Yeah.
And the talking dolphin,
I think
obviously,
the fun,
is cool.
like, sci-fi tech heavy episodes are almost like the filler of Sequest.
Well, I just need to give it a longer
Or
shot.
it's later seasons, probably.
I need to give it a longer shot because I have a lot of memories of Sequest. Every time when we read Brandon Sanderson and we talked about the Parshendi, I pictured them like the guy from Sequest with the different colored skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just the thing that I'm gonna have to tackle eventually. Annie Grindley is 13/Psychop. She's not really in anything else, and this is the only episode of Babylon 5 she's ever in. So they must have flagged her down in the parking lot. Like, can you laugh maliciously? Will you fit in this jacket? And this is actually the first appearance of Zach Allen, who's going to become actually a larger character than the random fighter pilot that they clearly added and then used as little as possible.
Yeah.
And this is played by Jeff Conaway. Actually, Jeffrey Charles William Michael Conaway, his full name. He passed away in 2011 from an overdose. He was in Grease as Kaniki. He was like...
Oh, Grease.
Yeah, Grease, the John Travolta movie, singing. He was also in Taxi. He was in a television show called Stephen King's Golden Tales, which I did not know existed and now would like to find and watch. But he was, JMS actually talks about hiring him in Becoming Superman and said that he wasn't sure that Babylon 5 was going to be able to get that high caliber of an actor.
Okay.
Because, they're a small production. They don't have a huge budget, but he had been having substance abuse problems. And he had been to rehab and he had come out and was clean and was trying to restart his career. And so they contacted JMS and was like, can he have a shot in the show? And they were like, are you sure he wants to be on the not Star Trek show? And they were like, yeah, he was really interested, and we think it would be a good launching off point for him to restart his career. Mm-hmm. And so he did. He got on the show. He actually becomes much larger later, but this is his first appearance. And he's just kind of in the background.
Yeah.
According to Lawrence DiTillio, he imagined that Bureau 13 is the same organization as the one that sent Night 1 and Night 2 in the Sky Full of Stars.
Okay.
So this is a similar Black Ops, wild whatever, just send people out. Well, they wanted this to be a bigger thing. They wanted Bureau 13 to end up being like a larger
I could see them
antagonist.
Really, like, heavily setting up this Sheridan trying to dig out the roots of Bureau 13.
Yeah, I'm going to bring them
from
down.
The corporate Earth government.
So do you want to know why they didn't end up proceeding as heavily with the Bureau 13 plotline as they thought they were going to? It turns out there's a video game called Bureau 13.
Oh.
And everyone was like, oh, are you guys talking about the video game? Are you referencing the video game? And they didn't know. They didn't know that Bureau 13 was like a copyrighted thing that already, it's not like they could Google it.
Right.
So it wasn't until fans responded that they were like, well, shit. So they ended up having to contact the video game company and like try to negotiate with them. And in the end, they decided to just drop the Bureau 13 name.
Okay.
I do think we still keep some of the echoes of like, there's a lot of covert shit happening in the Earth government.
Yeah.
But we drop the centralized bureau, which is why we set up some of these characters and then there's no payoff. Like 13 / the Psychop lady.
Yeah.
We have the reveal of her in the operation room, and then we have the reveal that she's the one who's sending all of the computer
and then
messages.
Talia finds her records.
Right, and then gone, like a fart in the wind, never comes back ever again. Because they were like, you know what, actually, I see what we're trying to do here, but...
So if you watched this episode and then updated your board with some new pins for Bureau 13,
You're not going to
those
need
pins
them.
aren't going to get connected.
I mean, just put Bureau 13 in quotation marks because I don't think we really dropped the covert plot
Right,
line,
there's
but
loose references to this rogue, like,
well,
Black
it
Ops
becomes more
thing.
nebulous.
Yeah.
It's stuff that is happening. It maybe doesn't have a centralized whatever. That may be like Lawrence DiTillio doesn't write that many more episodes. I think he might have 2 more episodes that he's going to write. And he kind of has these through lines that go from, he has a couple references to his own episodes in each episode, which I will point out the ones that I spotted because we're going to start the episode. Are you ready?
Yeah. 15
Woohoo!
minutes in.
Under 15 minutes. Well, I like to get the setup because a lot of times people
Hold
already
on,
watch the
hold on.
episodes.
What about
Uh-huh.
the other
Oh,
actor
I
with,
didn't.
with
you
a
know-
notable role?
Well, you know what's funny is at this point it feels like literally any senator can call Babylon 5 and bully Babylon 5 around.
So the senator that Sheridan talks to is the mom from Arrested Development.
It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost?
$10?
Well, I ignored
So the whole episode I was making jokes about the banana. There's always money on the banana stand.
Well, I ignored it because we've had so many senators at this point, and it literally feels like if you get elected, you have the right to call Babylon 5 and bitch to Sheridan about stuff that you want done, and the authority to possibly enforce that, which is fucking wild.
Right. Almost every communication from a senator to the person running Babylon 5 is framed as there's political pressure to make this happen, so please make this happen.
Yeah.
Rather than this is an order from Congress or whatever
Yeah.
to do the thing. And it's always just like word of mouth.
The weird
Implications.
blurry line between political pressure and actual military is weird.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about Babylon 5 that I feel is not, unless that's what they were going for, because Babylon 5 is a military outpost. It is run by the military, but it is a diplomatic outpost.
Right.
And half of the time, the contact that he's getting is from diplomats or politicians who are exerting political pressure on Sheridan to do stuff.
Right.
He very rarely receives direct orders from anybody,
Right. It's
like direct military orders. And then when
it's
a military
probably like
person,
when there's an embassy, like an American embassy in, I don't know, France. Although France is probably
I don't know, France.
in another country, that embassy, the property and the building is run by somebody,
Yeah.
but they're not necessarily the ambassador.
Mm.
I wonder if it's
I don't-
kind of like that.
okay.
Like I run the logistics for the embassy, like property and building and whatever, but I don't get involved in the meetings that are happening with the ambassadors or like their living situation or whatever. Like I make sure everybody's here that needs to be here and make sure things run smoothly, but I don't do the thing.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's
And it's probably supposed
Yeah.
to be. Well, you'd said from the book that JMS originally had 2 separate ideas.
Yeah.
One of which was a like diplomatic trading space,
right.
and the other one was a deep space military
Yeah.
outpost. And he combined them to make Babylon 5.
Right. And I think it's supposed to feel a little murky.
Right.
Like Sheridan is both defining his own role and also having it defined for him all at the same time, which gives him a lot of wiggle room to do interesting shit. If he was always getting orders and he was the kind of guy that just followed orders, that would be boring. If he was
Right.
always getting orders and then disobeying the orders, that would be unbelievable.
Right.
So he has to have this nebulous space in which you can have serendipitous things happen. And the consequences not being clearly defined mean that we're not stuck wondering why there are no consequences.
Yeah. And I proposed, I don't know, early on that Babylon 5 is given a lot of autonomy, but kind of in a we're giving you enough rope to hang yourself kind of way.
Either you'll succeed or you'll hang yourself.
They don't actually want Babylon 5 to succeed long term. They don't want to have to like micromanage Babylon 5.
Yeah.
They don't want to be seen to be like actively involved in Babylon 5 because everybody expects that it's going to just fall apart and they don't want to get their reputation attached to that.
Right.
So everybody just stays back, lets Babylon 5 do their own thing. But then every once in a while it's, oh, can you do this thing for me? Otherwise, some people are going to like stop you from getting supplies you need and make your life inconvenient.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, but no direct orders.
In more relevant news, Werner Herzog now has an Instagram account. I mentioned that because you mentioned France offhandedly. And Werner Herzog notably knows French, understands French, but refuses to speak French. And he's spoken it one time in his whole life because he needed to communicate with an emergency vehicle in order to save somebody's life from a car accident. And he has stated on the record that he deeply regrets it. And he wished he had not compromised his principles and spoken French. I kind of wanted, this is not relevant, but it's going to take me 2 seconds to cover this because it's important to me. Because, you know, Werner Herzog, the joke is a joke on Instagram, the like sad beige toys for sad beige children.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to follow him just to find out when he noticed.
I'm wondering if he joined because of official sad beige.
Somebody was talking about how wild Werner Herzog's life has been, which it has been, and he is worthy of like his own little docuseries because the shit this man has pulled and gotten away with. And they were like, but what I really want is for him to have the most basic Instagram account. And he's just like, this is my breakfast. This is my breakfast.
Oh, yeah. Like just posting pictures of food.
Yeah. Or videos of himself.
Yeah.
Like, hello, I'm Werner Herzog and I'm working in my garden today. These are my tulips. Just to have this, just the most basic. Anyway, that's your moment of levity before we start this episode. Because this was an episode.
Yeah.
There was a lot happening here. A lot happening. It was an interesting episode. We got a lot about Sheridan. We got a lot of Sheridan backstory. Mm-hmm. And we mentioned Mars for the first time in for fucking ever. Because we had like an uprising on Mars. The sands will run red with earth or blood, which they're kind of already red because...
I think that's the joke.
Oh, okay.
Is the red will blend in.
Oh, okay. Maybe. And then they're like, okay, whatever, forget about that. And then they're like, wait a minute, it's still happening. Let's come back to that. Because we come back... And it is, first we get our little Euro minute, like our transitional CG moment. And it is Ivanova and Sheridan walking together. And she's like, so I got the conference room all set up for the Tikar delegation. There's 6 Yarwood chairs. Did they send those in advance? Or were those like, is there a prop room? You know, like when you have an event space and you have a whole warehouse.
Like
and
a theater set shop?
Yes. Where you keep, like, okay, I need the Yarwood chairs. All right, they're in section 8, row 5, 3rd level.
Yep.
And you have to go and retrieve them. But it's like a warehouse space inside Babylon 5 that they can just...
Well, and how about this? A subset of the whole, like, ambassadorial logistics is... this whole like warehouse of specific requirements for different species, but also a workshop for modifying existing stuff or fabricating new things specifically for ambassadorial activities.
Is Babylon 5 a wedding destination?
Yes.
to get married in the garden in the middle. Be like, I want to get married in the little stone garden where everybody has tense
the only
conversations.
existing team that they could find to fulfill this set of responsibilities was like an exoplanet wedding venue company.
Yeah.
And they came in and now they run
All of the weddings.
all the furniture and stuff. Not weddings, but ambassadorial activities.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
they do with some weddings on the side.
Yeah.
But their whole career has shifted from wedding venue to diplomatic venue.
Oh, I mean, that's, yeah. But I'm just thinking, if Babylon 5 is a wedding destination, could you request a specific ambassador to marry you as part of their obligations on
Are they
Babylon
all
5?
legally ordained?
Yeah,
That'd be
just
cool.
as just as representatives of a government, they should be able to perform ceremonies, which means you could hire Jakar to be your wedding planner.
Yes!
That would be so good.
Would it be Jakar or would it be Natoth?
Well, not this Natoth.
Yeah.
not Natoth. Or OG Natoth would do my wedding in a second. But other than that, it'd just be Jakar. And he has shortened all of the vows because the most important part's the wedding night anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, whatever, get to the fucking. And it's just.
Jakar requests specific preparations for the venue, and behind him is the bed.
His broken
Now
bed.
consummate. And that's part of the wedding ceremony in Narn culture.
I mean, you know what you hire him for. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, she's like, 6 yarwood chairs placed precisely 1 meter apart in a star pattern with the heel-lock on the center chair. I don't know what any of that means. And he's like, oh, yeah, great. Good. Yep. Perfect. So anyway, you're doing a really good job at this, Ivanova. That's so that I don't have to do it.
Delegation.
Who did Sinclair delegate this to? Or did he
He
hands-on?
didn't, but Sinclair was the commander.
Ah.
Now Ivanova's the commander.
Right. And he's like, it's
And-
good to be captain.
And as part of him promoting Ivanova was that she's going to start taking over some of this,
She's doing Sinclair's job. Yeah.
just Sheridan's job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's doing what Sinclair did.
Yeah.
And then Sheridan is doing whatever Sheridan does. Sit in his room, read books, whatever.
Dig into conspiracy theories.
Eat oranges. Freeze them up, you know. Ivanova is so unbuttoned, too. Her hair's loose.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost
ever
as if...
since Sheridan arrived.
Right, I was going to
She keeps
say.
her hair down.
It's almost like she's not trying to prove her. She's getting more comfortable being female in the role that she's performing because she's clearly very successful at it and she's being rewarded for her success. So she's not performing stoicism as hard. But they get a call over the link and it's like, there's a problem in the ambassadorial section. We need a command officer. And Ivanova goes, I'll handle it. And Captain Sheridan just talks into his link and goes, help is on the way. And then he gives this proud look like, oh, she's working so hard. And then he goes, it's good to be the captain. And I just put, Sinclair would never. Sinclair would be like, I'm on my way. You know what? Sheridan has to prove fuck all because Sheridan is probably...
Well, and Sheridan has more history with Ivanova and probably has a lot more confidence in her ability.
I think Sinclair had just as much confidence, but I think Sinclair wasn't in a place where he felt comfortable ever. And I think Sheridan is incredibly comfortable wherever he is because he's the son of a diplomat who
That's a good point. That's a good point. Sinclair had to, I don't know, like work harder through the system. And Sheridan
Sheridan has lifelong rich
protections.
white boy confidence. I've never failed at anything because...
Or when I did fail, the consequences were all hidden from me.
Yeah.
I was insulated from the consequences of my failure and was given resources to make another attempt.
What, like it's hard? Oh, of course I'm a captain at 37 or whatever age he's at. What, like it's hard? He wasn't even on the line.
I saw a thing about capitalism, specifically.
Is this the dart throwing
being
one?
Being an entrepreneur is like throwing a dart, and you have to hit the bullseye. And most people that take a stab at starting a business only have enough resources for one dart throw.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it, their business crashes. They have to declare bankruptcy.
They're
whatever. They're done. They will not get another chance to gather the resources to throw a dart. But rich people, like kids of rich people, they can throw as many darts as they want.
Right.
And then eventually they get a bullseye.
Right.
And then they talk about how they picked themselves up by the bootstraps and
Right.
whatever.
Yes.
Sheridan has a little bit of that.
Almost as if there's more.
Affluenza.
Yeah. What did I say? Wealth care.
Yeah.
Not health care, but wealth care. And then we got to Talia and Isogi. And Isogi-san walks into the
To
room.
clarify, not that doesn't make Sheridan a bad person.
Oh, no. It just is Sheridan's starting point.
Yeah.
Sinclair had a much different starting point. Sheridan, you can tell Sheridan has a lot more. No one's going to take anything from him because no one's ever taken anything from him.
Right.
Where I think if you've gone through a period of scarcity or you've gone through extremely traumatic events, you're always waiting for it to be taken from you.
Yeah.
And Sheridan doesn't, but Sinclair did.
Yeah.
So he worked harder because he had to make sure no one took it from him because he liked what he had and he didn't want to lose it. And the more you like it, the more likely someone is to take it from you.
Right.
That's the mindset. And Sheridan doesn't have that because whatever, dude, he's fine. He's like, it's like he got plucked off of a beach to be here is what it, yeah. And it's like JMS said in the previous episode, sometimes you start out with the dark backstory and you're already healing from it. And sometimes the backstory or the darkness is unfolding before your eyes. And so we're going to get there. But this is Talia and she's greeting Isogi, who has flown all the way here from, was it Chicago? Is that where Die Hard takes place?
From
Nakasagi Tower
yeah.
or whatever. And I think I've seen Die Hard once. I'm sorry. Were there vampires in it? I probably did not rewatch it. But apparently he sent his proposal ahead of time because he's like, Talia, what do you think about my Neo Mars proposal? And she's like, oh my God, just like all of your proposals, too progressive, too risky, and too costly in the short run. So she's like a business advisor. I mean, she sits in and on enough business conferences, I guess.
Right? I'm wondering how much legal training Talia has, or maybe Psycor in general has for the...
I think it's just by virtue of having sat through so many and being interested, not just sitting there and waiting for like lie, not lie, but being like, oh, I wonder why this one's going to work. And
yeah.
She's like, if you can make it happen. And he goes, I must make it happen. Future Core has to expand beyond Earth and Mars is the first step. Future Corp. Okay. I was trying to remember what the name of the company is that the guy works for in the episode where Dr. Franklin doesn't give a shit that his friend murdered the customs officer. Remember, he's working for it, but it's like International Weapons Alliance. It's not Future Core, I don't think, but it's like another generic name for company.
Yeah.
That's the one where we're like, oh, is this the Corporation Rim? This feels a bit like the Corporation Rim. And she goes, the Senate won't like it. And the Mars conglomerate will try to bury you. The Senate must have a wild amount of power if it can really restrict on this level.
The Earth Senate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corporations. I mean, all he would have to do is, it'd be like when corporations have home ports that are not the U.S. so that they can get away with certain things that are this is legal in our country.
Mm-hmm.
Could he just, what a lucrative business would be? It would be to be on Centauri and to pay to have people
relocate their business?
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of a fucking name. Relocate their business to the Centauri homeworld as their home port for their business. And then you have like a tax shelter, but you also pay extortion fees to the Centauri government. Right. So you would pay a high rate of tax to the Centauri government.
What's the trade-off? But it might be lower than you would pay.
And you wouldn't be
Earth
subject
Alliance.
to any of the regulatory stuff that's happening on Earth.
Yeah.
So you could work, you're free to do whatever you want to do. They don't care as long as you're paying your taxes.
Yeah.
That would be, if I were Centauri, that would be what I would do. I mean, you'd have to put certain things in place if you really wanted to keep people from getting hurt. But like, if Future Corp cannot enact a proposal because the Senate can literally step in and stop them. That's how you get businesses fleeing a whole planet.
Right.
Because travel is so cheap and so available, it doesn't make any difference. You could have all of your offices on Earth, but technically be a Centauri business. You would just have to appoint like a Centauri CEO or something.
I wonder if the Earth-Mars thing is kind of like the U.S. and Puerto Rico.
It's exactly
where
like
it's a
that.
territory, but it's not a full state.
Yeah.
Or in this case,
I
it's
think
not a full
that's
country.
Precisely what it is. Yeah. And so they don't get a vote. They don't get anything, but
They're missing out on a huge chunk of the like bureaucratic access, bureaucratic leverage, because they're not a full member.
And they also require a lot of support. Remember the episode where
Yeah.
the guy was like, we pay for their atmosphere scrubbers and they don't pay anything to us.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of animosity between the two places, but also they don't want to let Mars go because it must have something that they need that they don't want to let it go.
Probably has a lot of
Some kind of
mineral
resources. And he's like, we've prepared for that. Now I only need to convince Mars to share the risk. And Talia goes, and if they won't? And he goes, well, then the path to freedom may well be drenched with innocent blood, and a long-held dream of mine will die. I love how dramatic that is. What if this business meeting doesn't work out? Well, then all my dreams are dead. So even what's the fucking point? And then Amanda Carter shows up. And she's like, hi, I'm Amanda Carter from Mars. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because John Carter, obviously, the John Carter on Mars, which I read a lot of, let me tell you.
I know you have the big like omnibus of all the John Carter books.
Well, I like Edgar Rice Burroughs. I don't know why I find him really readable, but I do. Tarzan of the Apes was one of my favorite books growing up. And so I gave John Carter a shot and I got really far, but it gets a little, not bodice ripper because there's not actual sex, but just like John Carter can do no wrong. If he just walks around oiled up, ready for a fight all the time, he finds the Mars afterlife because there's no water on Mars, but there's one lake and there's a river. There's one river. And so when they die, they ride down this river. When they're going to die, they ride down this river thinking that when they get to the end of it, that's how you enter the afterlife. And it turns out there's a bunch of cannibals, like the cannibal centipedes from Animorphs that live at the end.
Yeah.
And they just maintain this religion so that people will come down the river to them.
And keep feeding them. Oh, wow.
I got to that
and
one.
there was a whole like secret, almost like Illuminati between all the planets.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, there's so much. And he travels by, there's a cave that connects the two. And he goes back at one point and he's there for a little while. And then he's like, fuck it. And he goes back. He fakes his own death and he goes back to Mars. Anyway, it's a John Carter reference. And she's from the Colony Business Affairs Committee.
Oh, especially, wasn't it her?
Yeah.
Her grandfather.
Yeah, that's what they said to your great-grandfather John when he volunteered to pilot the first colony ship to Mars. And I was like,
I missed that her great-grandfather was John.
John Carter.
Nice.
And he introduces Talia. He's like, this is Talia. She's a commercial telepath. I've worked with her before. She's going to be monitoring our negotiations. And the lady's like, Carter is like, I need your proposal. I read your proposal, Mr. Asogi. And frankly, you're either insane or very, very brave. And he's like, oh my God, I think that's exactly what they said to your great grandfather, John Carter, when he fell asleep in that cave and then woke up.
Then brought more people to Mars.
Yeah. And she goes, oh, you know what? They did. So, let's talk. This will be great. And then we get this top-down flyby of the ruins of San Francisco. This is San Francisco. Yeah. And this is another thing that we referenced in that newspaper, the Universe Today, where it said that
with all the headlines on it,
they think it'll be another 100 years before San Francisco is habitable again because there was a nuclear attack on San Francisco. Real bold of them to set up their secret base here. I wonder if they have a lot of radiation shielding. They must. Yeah. But they're listening to the video that we got from the vice president when he became president.
Yeah.
And they pause it to be like, 13, like calling 13. I love it. I love it. The
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be real crafty and twisty and come up with fun things. And sometimes you're like, 13 is a bad number. Let's make them 13. And they're like, all components have arrived safely on Babylon 5. Control is prepared to go online. And they're like, great, commence operation. And then we go back to Babylon 5.
One of the cargo rooms, right?
One of the box rooms.
Yep.
And we pan past all of these boxes that say classified on them. And one of them opens. And in my notes, I put, the boxes fight back.
They're tired of
We've been crushed too many times
by the shenanigans of Babylon 5 security.
It is
or the criminal underground.
My brothers, we unite.
Is this a box vigilante against Babylon 5 security or a box vigilante against Babylon 5 criminal underground who's always making use of these rooms and executing people and stuff?
Yeah, all of the above.
Both.
I think somebody contacted the boxes and they were like, are you tired of being repressed? And the boxes were like, hell yeah. And they were like, cool, we're going to fight back. And so here's a dead body. Take it with you.
I'm not on anybody's side because nobody was on my side.
Exactly. The boxes are like the Ents. They've become sentient. They've unionized.
They're awaking from their deep slumber.
Is there someone in every one of these? Was he so inert that they didn't scan it? I thought all organic material had to go through a quarantine. It's fine. They were like, it's classified, you can't scan it. Which you could just write classified on the outside of it. Ma'am, that's not even spelled correctly. Okay. Just
Well,
as a little I.
Bureau 13 would have
they have somebody
the
on the inside. Because we don't
to
know
fill
who
out all the correct
Control
paperwork.
is. And it's kind of implied that Control might be on Babylon 5 because they're getting reports of what happened on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But commencing operation, it turns out it means waking up Abel Horn, who they snuck on in this box.
Yep.
Or the boxes snuck on. I maintain it's the boxes. The sentient boxes. And then we go to the intro. All that, and we're in the intro.
That's our
Babylon
hook.
5. Babylon 5 project was our last. Best hope for peace. This one I could tell he rewrote it. He reread it.
Yeah.
The last couple I was like, I don't know. And then I think this one for sure I can tell because he's the shining beacon all alone in the night. It's like that part. I like this intro music better than I like season 1 intro. Even though it's the same, different parts are accentuated and I like it better. I like that they changed it up from season to season.
Yeah.
And then we come back because it's Sheridan getting a transmission from Senator Voudreau, who's the mom from Arrested Development. I was like, hold the phone. Is that the mom from Arrested Development? Matt was like, it's a banana, Michael. What could it cost? That's the only answer I got. It was, God, that show was funny. It was, I want to go back and rewatch it because I think the only running joke that we use is the banana stand and the never nude. And there's so much else that goes on.
Yeah.
Like his brother who's constantly
Cinco de Cuatro.
And then when his dad starts a religion and he just has half a shoe on his head. Oh my God. That's an old show now too. But they patch her through and she's like, hey, Taro Isogi, chief executive of Future Corp.
Hella sus. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, basically. We think he's there. He's meeting with Amanda Carter, who's a representative of the Mars Provisional Government. Carter's an outspoken advocate of Mars independence, and we think they're conspiring together to finance another rebellion. And Sheridan's like, cool. Do you have any proof? And she goes, proof? Bitch, I'm the government. I don't need proof. Basically.
Behind the scenes, hush, hush.
Yeah, she's like, well, we know Future Corp desperately wants a foothold in space, and an exclusive trade and services agreement with Mars would give it to them. So, many of the members wanted to pull out after the last rebellion, and another one would have them running like river rats if they move the current Mars conglomerate. We like the current business relationship that we have with Mars. We don't want a new business to have a relationship with because they might have standards.
Opposing values.
Standards. like, I understand your concern, but there's really not that much I can do about it because I don't have any authority over corporate negotiations. What a slippery fucking slope that would be.
Yes. And I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's why he's like, I got to hold the line on this because, like, I, as the representative of the military on Babylon 5, can't stick my foot in corporate negotiations. That would imply that the Earth military has a foot to stick into.
Right. And I think the thing about Babylon 5 that the Senate has the most problems with is that they keep putting people in charge of Babylon 5 that have principles, integrity.
We should never have listened to the president. Well, and
they want to puppet.
It's so far outside their control too, and
Yeah.
so they keep trying to wrest control back, and it's just not there. And he's basically like, "Fuck off! Babylon 5 is neutral territory. I will not be doing that." Any race, and he says it really excitedly too. He's like, "Did you know any race can negotiate here without interference? Even our own? It's fucking wild. You can just come here and do whatever the fuck you want. As long as it's not harming anybody, I can't really step in and doing anything. And I'm not going to because I shouldn't." And she's like,
I support this principle.
"I think it's really neat, actually." And she's like, okay, well, anyway, I'm just asking you to check it out. Nothing official. Just keep an eye peeled and an ear open." And she has this little pokey stick and she points at her eye and then points at her ear.
Nothing official. Just keep an eye peeled and an ear open and report anything of interest to me.
With all due respect, Senator, my duties as commander of B5 don't include spying on civilians.
These are volatile times, Captain. Practicality is more important than principles if lives are to be saved. I'll expect to hear from you soon.
And like, what the fuck was that? Who's like, your eye open? And unless you're in a kid's video and you're like, this is my eye. We're opening our eyes and we're keeping our listening ears on. Okay, everybody ready? And report anything of interest to me. And he's like, did I fucking stutter? When I said no, what did you hear?
This sounds exactly what Morden told Londo.
Oh, yeah. Just tell me if you see anything. That nothing bad has ever happened from that sort of vague instruction.
Well, he pushes back and she says, "These are volatile times. Practicality is more important than principles if lives are to be saved."
Yeah, that's quite a banger. Oh my God.
That is circled.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot to unpack there. Be like, "Senator, pause for a minute. What are you saying? Practicality? What do you mean by practicality? What are you asking me to sacrifice in the name of your agenda?"
What is the veiled threat here? What is the negative consequence you are implying to me if I don't play along?
Well, she's implying that going by the rules is impractical right now.
Right. With this nebulous threat of, oh, they're stoking another rebellion.
Yeah.
But you don't have any proof.
These are volatile times. Anything could happen to anyone, Captain.
Wink,
like,
wink.
Wink, wink. You want friends. You don't want enemies, I think is what she's saying.
Yeah.
It's more important for you to keep me on your side. Bitch, there's like 75 of you. I'm going to get 4 more calls today from 4 different senators who all want me to be their friends. Get off, okay? I don't even know what you do.
And they know how much a banana costs.
What is it you would say you do here? Like, what committee are you on?
Right.
How much power do you really have? Who are you representing? Who are you representing? Representing. I can't representing. Thank you. Because it's not like we're electing 2 senators per state. How does the Senate work?
Right.
How are
I don't know that we get that much detail.
We don't. We don't. Because you'd have to have 2. I mean, you'd have to structure, it'd have to be bicameral because like Russia shouldn't have the same number of representatives as like.
Right. It'd be like the Senate and the House.
A smaller
in the
country.
U.S.
Yeah. Anyway,
But they only ever talk to the senators. They don't ever talk to
we don't get that level of
representatives.
breakdown. It's fine.
Yeah.
At least we know there is a government. That's about as good as it gets. This is the first of many times he's asked to put aside his principles, because she says that line and then she's like, I expect to hear from you soon.
Yeah.
And there's a look that he gives that's like, huh, okay. Because previously when he was on the Agamemnon, he was just out fucking around space,
Right.
doing his cowboy thing.
And this is probably a big difference between a captain and a commander. Because once you're a captain and you have your own ship, you are the law on your ship. The captain has the final say on the ship. And so he has that
On the Agamemnon.
that history.
Yeah.
He has that personal experience of knowing that he used that line in a previous episode, as long as I am the law on Babylon 5.
Yeah. I'm going to see to it that everyone
he has
is
that
protected.
expectation that he has the final say on the ship.
Well,
the
he
station.
hasn't had to dabble in a lot of politics. He hasn't been in a
Right,
position.
and he hasn't had to really put his foot down on Babylon 5 yet.
Right. He hasn't been asked to choose a political dancing partner before. This is all new. So he gets this look that's like, okay, I'm beginning to understand the complexity of what's happening. And there is a thing that I like about Sheridan versus Sinclair, which is Sinclair would learn everything he needed in the moment to stop what was immediately happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan has a air of, I am always listening, I am always learning, and I am figuring out the entirety of the system.
And I think his scene at the end of this episode really gives us a glimpse, like, behind the curtain of Sheridan's, like, affable smile.
Yeah.
Is someone who is deeply interested in the invisible machinations behind the scenes.
He likes to know how things work.
Right. He's keeping track of all the variables that he knows about.
Right. He's always playing chess.
And
I love Sinclair.
He plays his hand close to the chest.
I love Sinclair, but he was sometimes playing checkers. Like every once in a while, it'd just be like, "Aha, I jumped your piece."
Yeah.
Not a long-term consequence. It's just I'm confident enough in my own ability that I know I can handle whatever comes.
Yeah.
Whereas Sheridan's like 3 steps ahead of everything that's happening. He's like, okay, so I'm going to tell this senator no. I'm going to see who contacts me next.
And
then
I think
can
part
figure
of
out the
that,
webs.
part of Sheridan's ability to do that is enabled by the fact that Ivanova is taking over higher level logistics of running the station.
I should say it less like this, because sometimes Sinclair was more strategic than I just gave him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan's playing poker.
Yeah.
He's watching everyone else at the table. Like he's playing the game, but the point is to learn the people at the table.
Right.
So he'll play the game as long as it is revealing information that he needs, that he likes to have. So that's kind of the vibe that I get when he signs off, which is like, okay, all right, interesting that she contacted me. Let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
Because then we cut to Talia and Carter and Desogi, because we're still going over his proposal, which we don't really know what it is, except that Mars has resources.
We had a really short scene with Ivanova about the Takar delegation.
Oh, yeah, that they're docking.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll meet him in the conference room. Yeah, that's what he signs off with, is like, okay, I'm headed off to go see the Takar, which is only relevant.
After this upsetting meeting.
Yeah, which is only relevant later when we find out he's the one who made first contact with the Takar.
Yeah.
So this is the part where we're kind of getting a glimpse into what the plan is, which I was taking a minute there to try to like figure out what the plan was in my mind so I could explain it. But
the Mars plan?
The Mars plan. And it's like, you have a lot of resources. We need to turn you into the people who distribute the resources.
Right, a self-sufficient, I don't know, like city?
Right.
A self-sufficient infrastructure.
Effectively, you need to open up trade routes with other worlds because they need your resources too. And if you're bringing in revenue from outside sources besides Earth, you can get wealthy enough to be independent.
Right. And Future Corp wants to come in, build the infrastructure to exploit the value of the planet of Mars.
Right.
Establish trade with other planets, and then bring that money directly back to Mars and distribute it inside of Mars.
Right. And once you're not reliant on Earth in order to maintain your infrastructure, and you're maintaining your infrastructure yourself, that's independence. Then
Yeah.
you have a lot to stand. You can be
Then
economically
you have leverage for
self-sufficient.
political independence from Earth.
Right. And she's like, it's going to be a hard sell with the committee. We need concrete assurances from the other alien worlds that they're willing to, to work with us. And Talia's like, meh, not true. She's sure the committee will accept your recommendation. She's the one who needs assurance.
Right.
And she's like, hell yeah, I do. Correct, Miss Winters. I need reassurance. Mars is being ripped apart at the seams right now. And before I bargain with its future, I need to know what's expected of us. And he's like, I mean, yeah, obviously, that's one of the reasons that I suggested we meet on Babylon 5, because all of our prospective trade partners are right fucking here. We can iron out all the details to your government's satisfaction right here, right now.
Yep.
And she's like, you really believe you can make this work? And he's like, no, but I believe we can try.
Right. We can try.
We can try. And I wrote, oh, yeah, he's going to die. As soon as I was like, oh, he's the idealistic, optimistic. I have the key to making the world a better place.
Right.
He's obviously going to get killed off.
Right.
She's like, I'll speak with the Business Affairs Committee. I think I can have an answer by tomorrow afternoon. And they're like, great, awesome, great. And then she leaves. And Talia is like, oh my gosh, she likes it. She likes the idea. I mean, she has her doubts, but basically she likes it. And he's like, and you? Now that you've heard me talk about the details of my little plan, how do you feel? Do you also have doubts? And she's like, I mean, yeah, I get it. The financial risk is bad enough. But the legal maneuvering will be even. And he's like, okay, you know what? I want to hear all about it. I want to hear all your concerns over dinner. And she's like, oh my God, yes. It's so cute.
Yeah.
They're like friends,
Yeah.
mentor and.
Yeah. She said she sees him like a father.
Yeah.
Especially since she didn't really know her biological parents.
Which okay, we're going to get there because that scene was unsettling, I would say.
Okay.
When she describes her childhood.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then we come back to, we're in the lounge. I think it's Aviators or something, but we haven't gotten it said yet. And Captain Sheridan is sitting at a table and Commander Ivanova walks up and she's like, hey, can I sit? And he's like, oh yeah, go ahead. How'd the conference go? Oh, great. Very well. Your seating arrangement was flawless. Latir Corvo himself complimented it. And I think we'll be seeing the Tikar on Babylon 5 soon. And she's like, oh my God, that's amazing. They're really interesting people. Didn't you make first contact with them? And it is so fascinating that we included this story because it is a window into the Sheridan that used to roam the universe.
Roam freely amongst the rim.
The one that his friend accused him of never having done. Why'd you give up on your dream? Well, I was already doing my dream, and now I'm doing a new thing. Because
dreams can change. You can have more than one.
He was on the Agamemnon, and they found an entirely new race.
Yeah.
So
this was after Ivanova and Sheridan worked together.
Right.
He got on the Agamemnon. So this is something that happened to Sheridan
recently.
While they were not working together.
Yeah.
And she probably heard that, oh yeah, there's this new race, and Captain Sheridan made first contact with them, and then it just never came up.
Right. And now they're here and they want to be on Babylon 5. And they haven't known Earth that long, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he talks about how it looked like a cloud, but it was a ship. And they followed them for hours until they finally got them to respond. And basically, they didn't know their language, but the Tikar had already figured out English or Common or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And of course, they didn't tell us that, whatever. In the middle of it, he gets a Jovian sunspot, which is the only really relevant thing that happens. Because it's from the Vicar episode. Jovian sunspot.
Oh,
remember that guy?
That's where we've heard it before.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, you're indulging. And he's like, I've earned it and I'm off duty. And Dr. Franklin is restrained somewhere on the ship.
He's not bugging us about the diets anymore. eating plants.
He's still sad about the lady that was here and then left him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mariah Cirrus. And she's like, okay, go ahead. And so he continues his whole story, which you can watch the show to watch the story if you really want to. It's fine. It's just like, they were really cool. I was really glad to meet them. Their ship was cool. And the most relevant part about this to me is it kind of highlights how Sheridan views the universe, which is not as an antagonist.
Not as a conqueror.
It is not him against the world. The world is neat, and he really wants to go out there and see all of it.
Yeah.
And so there's a level of cynicism to his curiosity when it comes to politics, but when it comes to the world in general, there's a very almost childlike sense of wonder where he's like, they had such a cool fucking ship. It looked like a cloud. And when I went in it, it was like really, it was open concept. I didn't think you could have it be that open. That was so neat.
So
and
he said he spent 2 days with them.
And I was invited aboard their ship. It was incredible. I'd never seen so much space on a starship. And the Takar themselves, so unlike any other alien species we'd encountered. I spent 2 days with them. And what I learned in that time made me realize just how wondrous this galaxy of ours really is.
Did they have toilets? Did he have to bring a bucket toilet with him?
He's just sitting there suffering. I'm fine. I'm fine. Maybe they let him go back at night. Or they came over, whatever. I mean, everything alive is a tube with accessories. So they have to have something.
Even the Vorlons.
Listen, my favorite story about space is that it was a huge problem. Stray urine drops were a huge problem in early space exploration because the male thing that you had to use
the condom catheter.
The condom catheter thing that
Everybody ordered extra large.
Correct. Yes.
And so none of the condom catheters fit the astronauts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy that deliberately orders extra large so that everyone around him will be like, ooh, he has the extra large, is generally never the extra large.
Yeah.
I did watch this video. I'm not going to talk about dicks for very long, but this is like one moment. I just got to throw this in here. And it was like, does it matter? Between men, does size matter?
Yeah.
And it was these guys, and they were told to line themselves up. And there was this one little guy who was probably like 5'4", and he just immediately took charge. He was like, "I think you're there. I think you're there. You and you get there and there, and then here and here." And he put himself at the end, at the biggest. And they're all like, "Yeah, we don't have any notes. We're pretty sure he does. Yeah, no, that feels right." And he was almost exactly correct. He had two guys switched.
Yeah.
And it went from like 5.5 inches all the way up to him, which not erect was 8.5 inches.
Wow.
And I was like,
that's inconvenient.
That's what he said. He was like, it is a burden. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I was like, oh, what a unique social experiment, because the man that you would have expected to have the largest did and immediately took charge. It was a very interesting, like, the casual confidence of someone who has absolutely nothing to prove, which doesn't have anything to do with dick size and has everything to do with attitude.
Right.
Yeah. But he says it made him realize just how wondrous this galaxy of ours really is. He's basically like, it was so fucking cool. That's why I'm out here. That was what we were supposed to be getting from the episode where he was like, oh, I kind of want to be back out on the rim. Was like, I want to see new things and experience new things because I really enjoy
the
newness.
discovery.
Yeah, I enjoy the novelty of that. I think that's what we were supposed to, not him being a little bitch about how he had this new position that didn't let him travel. But I think it's a matter of like, he's got to find the whimsy where he is now.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit harder. So it was a good scene. I think it was specifically to give us some Sheridan backstory because probably reading through some of the forum stuff, they were getting a lot of flack for Sheridan. Like the pivot from Sinclair, who's like a prepackaged, intense, dark, interesting character, to a golden retriever who doesn't appear to have a whole ton of depth right at the beginning. That was a big pivot. And it must not have been going well because even JMS is not commenting all that much anymore. He had like 3 or 4 things on the form and that was it. Mostly about Bureau 13 and like, no, we're not associated. Yes, it was an accident. Whoopsie doodle. We didn't know. We already remedied it. Everyone stopped fucking talking about it. Like that was pretty much the only thing he talked about. But then we come back and it is Talia and Asogi. And she's like, listen, I never seen you so excited about doing something like this deal. And he's like, it's because it's not just a deal. It's the future. Mars can be the beginning of a whole new life for the human species as it was meant to be. You know, to just like go out and be free and establish new worlds without having to constantly be bogged down by Space England, the like colonizer planet that wants to maintain control of all of its colonies. Kind of like how, isn't it every single day a country celebrates its independence from England? It's every many days. Yeah. Because at one point, England held so many colonies.
Yep.
And this is when the guy shows up, Abel, and he shoves Talia out of the way. And then he's like,
electrocute.
Free Mars. And she scans him because that's what you do. And all she can see is him dying. And Taro dies. And that's the end of that scene.
R.I.P.
Because he flees. Then they come back and it's Talia talking to Sheridan. She's not in MedLab, I will note. She was probably like, can we just go to your office? Can we not go to MedLab? Can we not do that?
Dr. Franklin's always looking at me with that side eye.
Creepy. You don't want to be in his head. Do you know what it's like being in his head? She goes, Sheridan is talking to her. And he's like, so you have no idea what the images you got from the killer meant? And she's like, no, it was all too quick. Just a blur of light and sound and then blackness. And Sheridan's like, okay. But all he said was free Mars. And she's like, yeah, but my first assignment was Mars colony. And I scanned several free Mars people during that time. They're violent fanatics with a murderous hatred of Earth Alliance. This man was different. He had no thoughts, no anger, no emotion, just images. And they're like, okay, so what reason? Was there a reason? Because he's kind of been briefed. Remember, the senator talked to him about it. Mm-hmm. So he's a little bit primed already to be like, was he here to finance the next violent revolution? Because he's like, would Free Mars want to kill him? And she's like, no. He was trying to find a peaceful solution. And Sheridan's like, okay, but like Earth Central didn't think that's what he was here for. Earth Central felt like he was here to finance some shenanigans.
Right.
They believe he was going to back another rebellion on Mars. And she's like,
And so Talia defends Taro.
yeah, she's like, the fuck you say? He hated violence. He would never have done such a thing.
She's like, I have decades of experience with Taro and what his like mission statement was.
Yeah, I have a lot more experience with him than you do. Someone has been lying to you, Captain. And he goes, or to you. And I
She's
say,
like, I'm a telepath.
I say, ¿por qué no los dos? Why can't everybody be getting lied to? I'm a telepath. Yeah, but you can't scan people over a TV screen. That would have been my retort.
Yeah.
You can't scan people over the phone.
Yeah.
And I bet a telepath is terrible at reading faces.
Yeah.
In the same way that somebody who always has the subtitles on is terrible at listening to the voices.
Yeah.
Because you have a cheat sheet. Why would you?
Right.
Why would you learn that skill? But Sheridan's retort I do like, which is, yeah, telepaths are human beings. Okay, and you're fallible. Sorry, bro. And you're an old friend of Asogi's, so you are naturally biased. And he's like, you trusted him. He could have lied to you. He could have exploited that. And she's like, no, I trusted him for good reason. Because he worked really hard to improve other people's lives. He never broke a rule, ever. Not even one.
Harmed someone.
Or harmed another to do it.
Oh, I thought it was that harmed another to do it.
Yeah, he's like, Mars was his dream. And now he's been murdered for it. And you're trying to cast blame on him. And I think this is supposed to be Sheridan wrestling with his faith in the system
Mm-hmm.
versus his growing suspicion that the system is broken. Because he also did this with the technomages, where at first he was really combative and trying to hold the Earth Force line of like, you need to tell me where you're going.
Right.
We need to
Because
know.
he was getting a lot of ambiguous directives, suggestions from the Senate about you need to find out what they're up to.
Well, they straight
You
up told him, we need to know where they're going. Don't let them go until you know where they're going. And
Yeah.
so he was trying to do that. And then it was like, the fuck am I doing? Why am I yelling at this guy? He just wants to go. Like he's
Right.
just trying to leave.
This isn't even like an official order.
Because then they're walking in the Zocalo together, and he's like, I'm sorry. Like, it's all fucking messed up, man.
Yeah.
He does the same thing here because he's like, I don't know, was he trying to incite a rebellion? He could have just been pushing her to see how she reacted to. But
Yeah.
I think it's also hand in hand with his, like, at first he toes the line, and then he's like, the fuck am I doing? Because he goes,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. She's like, I'm sorry too. And I'm also tired, and I hurt, and my best friend just died. So maybe can I go home now? And he's like, yeah, I'll arrange an escort. And he goes to lift
Ba-doop.
his hand, and Garibaldi goes, one escort at your service. He just,
She's just listening at the door.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I'm also tired and I hurt. May I go back to my quarters now?
Yes. I'll arrange for an escort.
One escort at your service.
What did we propose? That he had holograms of himself available anywhere Talia went?
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's like lurking outside the door. He's like, bing, I'm here. And they're walking back to her quarters. Okay. You look like you have a man with something
was
to say.
it that the Garibaldi actor and the Talia actress get
Right
married?
about now. 1994 to 1995, I think, is how long they're married.
Okay. So they're married at this point.
It could be, or at least dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're an item. It looks like it, too.
Oh, yeah.
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 There's a lot of chemistry there, weirdly enough. I mean, all respect to both of them, but they just don't seem like the couple that it just does. It's not. It's like Wilma and Fred, or what my sister calls, and this is horrible, balancing the species couple.
I saw one that was similar vibe, but it was like let your girl get all dressed up so everybody knows you have a sense of humor.
Exactly. And wouldn't you just know that's exactly the dynamic? Because they're walking back and she's like, I mean, this isn't, you don't need to do this. It's fine. And he's like, Captain's orders. He's worried about you. So am I. And this gives us a chance to get to know each other better. I've had a fascinating life, is what Garibaldi says. Like, would you like to know some of my backstory? And she's like, honestly, no. He goes, she says, Mr. Garibaldi, Taro Osogi was like a father to me, and I loved him as a client and a mentor and a friend, and now he's dead, and you'll forgive me if I'm not in the mood for your usual badinage.
Yeah.
Can you look that word up? I meant to. It's rare to come across a word I don't know. I don't know that one. I'm guessing banter.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it's probably humorous or witty conversation.
Yeah. Oh, she called him witty.
Or
And
she
Garibaldi,
implied he might be witty.
and Garibaldi, he thinks he's witty. That's what she was saying. And Garibaldi's like, you're right. You know, you're right. I'm sorry. This was a really bad time. I'm being a yutz. And she's like, okay, apology accepted. And then he pauses for a minute, and then he goes, could you at least tell me what badinage means?
A yutz is a...
Oh, I know what a yutz is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can say it anyway, because maybe somebody else doesn't know what it is.
Foolish, incompetent, awkward, or contemptible
It's
person.
Yiddish, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. And Garibaldi says, you know, my pop always said that laughter was better than pills for what ails you. He's
A
like,
yutz is a fool and a putz is worthless.
so he's kind of both sometimes. But then they walk out, and she has had a moment to laugh because could you at least tell me what you yelled at me about is pretty funny. And she goes, he was right. You're right. Like, I needed that moment. I needed to get out of my head for a second. Thank you for that. And Garibaldi goes, I mean, we'll get the creep who did this, I promise. And she's like, I mean, that's great, but it doesn't bring anybody back. And it doesn't bring back his dreams for the Mars colony. And Garibaldi's like, well, no, but it could save someone else from getting killed. Like, maybe let's focus on that, huh? And then we cut to Abel because he's just roaming about the countryside. It's fine. We don't have face scanners on Babylon 5, so we don't know that this wanted terrorist is in the Zocalo. So it's totally fine.
I guess his face, unless they're scanning for faces that have not been scanned in through, like, customs or whatever.
Well, he's a known terrorist, but I guess he would be removed from the list because he's technically deceased.
Yeah, but they don't know. They haven't lined him up with Taro's killer yet.
So he walks up to a random terminal, and it's like
A payphone.
code, and he goes Alpha 66 Zeta 3 or whatever. And at first it's like unable to respond, and then it's like code not. Oh yeah, right, yeah, no, we'll patch you through. And this weird symbol thing.
So somebody's got a backdoor into Babylon 5 communication systems.
Right. Or is on the ship. Or is on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And they're like, phase 1 complete. Download all mission data, then erase source file. And he's like, cool. And he takes off his hand glove, his skin glove that he's wearing on his robot hand. And he just goes, doop, boop, and sticks his finger on it. And then the video plays of him killing
on the
Taro
screen.
on the screen. Can you
Which
imagine?
Seems like
Sometimes people would line up for a payphone. If you were waiting, if you needed to make a phone call and someone was already on the phone, you would stand a respectful distance away. But if it was a video screen, you would clearly see this guy getting murdered.
first person video of him electrocuting someone to death.
Back away slowly. You know what, actually? I think there's another phone over there. I'm going to use that one. And they zoom in on Talia Winters, and it pauses, and it's like, ah, yes, Talia Winters, resident commercial telepath rating P5. She could jeopardize the mission, so go ahead and eliminate her and then continue with phase 2. And he goes, understood. Search mode. And then just says, where is Talia Winters?
So if he's backdoored into Babylon 5 systems, then he might have elevated privileges from this terminal.
This is not the first time somebody has walked up to a terminal and just asked for someone's location.
Yeah.
And I think I have a thing for this.
Okay.
Because in the 90s,
Oh, the phone book?
you had a book that had everybody's name, address, and telephone number in it.
And you had to opt out.
And you had to pay. You had to pay to be unlisted.
Mm.
And the only thing you needed to know was their last name and first name.
Yep.
So you could have looked anyone up. It was a big white book, depending on where you lived, would determine the thickness. For a long time, the white pages was online. And you could either put in someone's phone number and find out their name or put in their name and find out their telephone number. You kind of still can, but it's a paid service now. But you could go and you went to the grocery store. There were just racks of them. They dropped them off at your door. Whatever you wanted.
Yeah, if you had a telephone number, you got the yellow pages.
Yeah, and the white pages.
And the white pages.
Yellow
yeah.
pages were business. White pages were people.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how you found people. Oh, I'm in the book. That was a common, I'm in the book under whatever. And then you could just look somebody up. So this probably didn't feel weird at the time because this was a thing you could do.
And also, she's
a commercial asset.
She's someone who you
I get
hire.
it. Yeah,
So-
but I can see giving you contact information like to send her an email.
Right. So this may give her contact information. It may give her location, like if she's like on duty, like office hours. But otherwise, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Sheridan, and he's talking to Ivanova, and he's like, I want you to hold all outgoing traffic because there's been a murder. There's been a murder, and I don't want the killer leaving. And she's like, oh, you haven't caught that guy yet? I mean, there's only 250,000 humans and aliens. Not that hard. Like, it's hard. He's like, no, not yet, but we do have an eyewitness, Talia Winters. And Ivanova goes, was she hurt? And Sheridan's like, I mean, no, because I think the killer wanted a witness, Oh, do you? Do you think the killer wanted a witness? Interesting that he went there with that. And he's like, tell me, what do you think of her? And Ivana was like,
I don't.
Miss Winters? I mean, I
What?
think, woo.
Why do you ask?
I think she's an interesting person. And he goes, oh, you never describe anybody like that. I don't, and she's like, I don't really know her all that well. I mean, we've chatted a couple of times. I think she's interesting.
Had some drinks at the bar.
We kind of why are you asking me this? She goes, you know how I feel about telepaths? Classic deflection.
Yeah.
That was not about Talia. That was a generalized statement. You know how I feel about telepaths? And he goes, do I ever? You threw one out of a third-story window on Io.
I think the killer wanted a witness. Tell me, what do you think of her?
Miss Winters? I think she's an interesting person.
You never describe anybody that way.
I mean, I don't really know her that well. I mean, we've chatted from time to time, and she's interesting. But you know how I feel about telepaths.
Do I ever? You threw one out of a third-story window on Io.
There was an ample pool below the window.
I'll assume you knew that.
That is the backstory I want. Forget the first contact, the Sheridan, and then I pursuit hunted them across 3 different sectors before they finally were like,
I bet
fuck
there's
it, I'll
fan
talk to you.
fiction about Ivanova and Sheridan on Io.
There's fan fiction about.
Oh, I know. There's fan fiction about everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And she goes, I knew there was a pool below the window. And he goes, I assume you knew that. I'm just going to go ahead and guess you knew you were not trying to kill them. Oh, I was trying to kill them. That I just stated for the record, there was a pool below the window. Because aside from Miss Winters' interesting quality, do you think she can be trusted? And Ivanova goes, yeah, except she's very loyal to Psychor. And Sheridan goes, and you don't trust Psychor? And she's like, no. Do you? And he doesn't really.
good line.
He gets a good line, but he doesn't get like a, no, I'm with you. It's just more of like a, okay, so telepaths are gifted and cursed in ways I can never hope to understand. So I don't know why. I don't know. I can't speak to her situation because I'm not in it. But they're still human beings, good, bad, or indifferent. So no, I trust in individuals. I don't trust organizations. And Ivanova goes, okay, then you can trust Miss Winters. Which is a big thing for Ivanova.
Yeah.
That's basically a declaration of love. I do not
Stick a pin in that.
I do not hate her. Okay, wow. Okay, nice.
Wow, she's a telepath that has overcome your hate. That's
yeah.
Wow, you
That
must
should feel
really
like a big
her.
recommendation because it is.
Yep.
And this is when Sheridan goes to see Carter, Amanda Carter. And he's like, hey, I'm the commander of Babylon 5. Captain John Sheridan, commander of Babylon 5. I'd like to ask you a few questions. And she's like, no. Private negotiations are not subject to Earth Force scrutiny, so fuck off. And he goes, actually, they kind of are now because Mr. Asogi was murdered last night. And she's like, I'm sorry, what? No one has told her yet?
She's just finding out.
Just the captain came and he's like, oh, by the way, Asogi was like brutally murdered the other night. Did you know about that? She's like, what the fuck? What? And he's like, oh yeah, according to an eyewitness, the killer said free Mars. And she's like, free Mars? And he's like, yep. Yeah, yep. And she's like, no. There is no way they could have known about this meeting. And even if they did, killing Mr. Asogi wouldn't have gotten them anywhere because he was working on a peaceful compromise that would ensure the colony's independence without bloodshed. Which obviously somebody didn't like. And then she just goes, damn them. And Sheridan's like, cool. So do you have any idea who they might be? The Senate, Mars conglomerate, they'd be the most opposed, but I never thought they'd go this far. She's immediately like, oh, the government killed him.
Yeah.
The government killed him. Easy peasy. I got you.
Yep.
I know exactly who did it. And Sheridan's like, you know what? Thank you for your time, Miss Carter. If I have any more questions, I'll talk to you later. She's like, I mean, I'll be glad to help. Whoever killed Taro Asogi killed Mars's best hope for the future. I mean, hopefully he has someone who can step in and help continue the plan. That's what makes a good corporation.
Who is Taro representing in
Future
this
Corp.
situation? Does he work for Future Corp?
I think he is Future Corp.
But didn't he live on Mars?
No.
And Future?
No. Future Corp is an Earth corporation that is looking to get a foothold off of Earth, a.k.a. on Mars. They're trying to oust the current Mars conglomerate.
Taro's proposal for Future Corp. And in my head, Taro was acting as a finder's fee or something, where he had a plan that he wanted to propose between the Mars Provisional Government and Future Corp to get Future Corp on Mars.
I think it's ambiguous. I think if you want to read it that way, that's fine. And that makes it make sense, because if he's the one spearheading it and he's dragging Future Corp along with him, then him gone, they don't have that intermediary anymore.
Right. And that's why the deal dissolves.
I think you can also read it as he's like head of Future Corp. It's
or
his
he's
baby.
High up in Future Corp.
It's his baby, and he's trying to
high enough
oust.
up that he can make a proposal to the board.
Right, and he's a charismatic leader, so he's capable of getting people to follow him in a way that other people maybe can't.
Yeah.
And so that's probably what she's referencing, is like Taro Asogi could have gotten things done in a way that nobody else can get things done.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Sheridan visiting Garibaldi in his office. And there's a lot of layered interactions happening in this episode that give us the new dynamic between characters in a way that we haven't gotten up till this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're also watching the Sheridan and Garibaldi interaction grow into what it will eventually be, which is like Garibaldi and Sinclair were best friends, but they were like war buddies. They were trauma bonded. Yeah. They had gone through a lot of shit, and they were together because their darknesses worked well with each other, and because Sinclair needed Garibaldi.
Yeah.
Emotionally, not, he could do his job, but he needed someone who he could fall apart and it would be okay, because Garibaldi totally
someone he could be vulnerable in front of, that he has his back.
Right. Sheridan doesn't need Garibaldi emotionally. Right. Sheridan doesn't need
he
him
needs
to keep
Garibaldi's skill set.
Sheridan's never going to run off and jump in a ship and try to get himself killed, because he can't stand the idea of continuing to live.
Yeah,
that's
Garibaldi
not a thing.
Garibaldi doesn't need to watch Sheridan's back, because Sheridan isn't throwing himself into dangerous situations on a regular basis.
That man doesn't even know how to hold a gun. Someone needs to give him some lessons about how to hold a gun. But that frees them up to be friends in an entirely different way.
Mm-hmm.
To be co-equal friends.
Yeah.
Like give and take, where they can have similar hobbies and they can share interests and push each other forward in a way that doesn't involve like emotional support.
Right.
Critical emotional support. Like, I don't want to seek therapy, so I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
So they're like, forensics said Isogi's body was hit with a massive electrical charge, and there's scorch marks of fingers on his neck, but no
fingerprints
or striations of any kind. And this is the part where DiTillio references his own gun, his own stuff, his own shit. Because Sheridan goes, a slaver glove? Like in Born to the Purple, when that guy grabs Londo's side chick.
Yeah.
And you see the electricity crawling up her cheek or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a slaver glove.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, a slaver glove? And they're like, no. I mean, they pack a jolt, but they couldn't like do this much damage. This is high tech and definitely not standard Free Mars issue. You think they would have used something that Free Mars could kill with? Like, if you really, unless they were just so confident they were going to get away with this, that they didn't need to dot all the I's. He's like, my guess is some kind of prosthetic weaponry. I mean, I went there too. Obviously, that's...
Well, it's a weapon, an electrical weapon in the shape of a hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it must be some kind
Maybe it is somebody's hand.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at least that's more believable. They had more belief for that than they did for the whole last episode, where they were like, that woman knows how to remove organs without ever having to cut the body open.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm glad we made like a reasonable decision in this one. Okay, it must be like a prosthetic hand that has some kind of weapon in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Garibaldi goes, what I can't figure out is how he got it on the station. Dude, everyone gets everything on the station.
I said, what kind of weapons does he catch?
I know.
What kind of weapons does security actually catch? Because it seems like anybody on Babylon 5 who wants a weapon, they can have one.
Well, the guy with the that came in the first episode of season 2 that was there to threaten people but not actually hurt anyone because they were trying to get Sheridan to fire on the Minbari ship.
Yeah.
The Takagi? The Black Star? I don't know, whatever. He has an electrical glove.
Mm.
So maybe the electrical glove is like the thing you can get on. Like a power source that would generate that big of a charge would show up on scanners. Would it? What do you scan? What? It's fine. It's fine. They go, maybe he had some special help. That's what Sheridan says. And Garibaldi goes, do you want to elaborate on that? What do you mean special help? What a weird thing to say and then be cagey about to Garibaldi.
Yeah.
After he just got shot in the back by someone who had infiltrated his group and convinced him that he was loyal when in fact he was a plant the entire time. Because he's like, oh, no, I don't want to explain it until we have more to go on. I'm going to hang on to that for a bit. But you keep an escort on Miss Winters and intensify the search. Include all EarthGov and corporate secure areas. And he's like, will do, but Captain, I'd like to know where you're going with this. And Sheridan goes, someplace very dark. And I hope to God I'm wrong.
Yep.
At least he's willing to entertain the idea that the Earth government doesn't have everybody's best interest in mind. Then we come back and it's Talia and the robo guy. And she's wandering about. And he's like, hey, Earther, free Mars. And she's like, no.
Kills her escort.
Yeah.
But then
she scans him and wakes him up.
I'm thinking she scans him and he becomes consciously aware.
She breaks whatever loop they've put him in.
Yeah.
And then she runs off. Help me. And the guy just goes, what have they done to me? And then she goes back to talk to everybody again because she's like, oh my God, you guys, I saw him again. And the images in his mind were the same as before, except this time I saw an Earth Alliance ship, a big one. What kind was it? I don't know. One of the big ones.
I'm not an expert on.
It's like when I ask
Earth
you what
Force.
cars people drive. I don't know. A white one.
It had 4 wheels.
I don't know. A cruiser, I think. It was firing at him. And I know this sounds crazy, but it hit him. And he died. And they're like, died? It was as if he was reliving the thought of his death over and over again, clinging to it as if it were the only thought he had. And this is when Garibaldi shows up. And he's like, I got an ID on our perp. I checked the DNA that Miss Winters pulled out, like his hair. He pulled his hair out. And it's positive. Take a look. It's him. And it's Abel Horn.
Mm-hmm.
Sheridan goes, Abel Horn. And Garibaldi goes, do you know him? And he goes, in a way. My wife Anna and I had some very special friends on Mars.
Abel Horn.
You know?
In a way. My wife Anna and I had some very special friends on Mars. They worked at Ritchie Station. They were there when Free Mars blew it. Abel Horn claimed responsibility for it. I want him, Mr. Garibaldi.
I said, were they swingers?
I also wrote swingers? Question mark. Fist bump.
Ugh, I mean, it's obvious, right? I mean, what? Because he's like, they worked at Ritchie Station. They were there when Free Mars blew it up. He's like, they had a really nice orgy pad, too. Like, he looks so mad. And the way he describes it, it's not like we had business friends or we had work friends.
We had some very good friends.
Not very, but very special friends. I'm sorry. There's no other way to interpret that. Those were their fuck buddies.
Yeah.
And they got murdered by this guy. And he's like, I want him. Not like that. I want him dead. Dead, Mr. Garibaldi. And he's like, yeah, okay, so do I. But there's a problem. According to Earth Force intelligence, he's already dead.
Bum, bum,
A cruiser,
bum.
a big one, scragged his ship over Phobos during the rebellion. And they're like, oh my God. And Sheridan looks at Talia and he's like, is that what you saw in his mind? And she's like, yeah.
The pieces are falling in
And Garibaldi
place.
goes, would anyone like to tell me what's going on? And Sheridan goes, later. He's super cagey with Garibaldi. And I do like that Garibaldi confronts him.
Yeah.
If there's anything I like, anything about Garibaldi you can trust, is that he will eventually say the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
And be like, I know you don't trust me, but like you got to throw me a bone.
Yeah. When he's got a hunch, when his gut's telling him something, he brings it up eventually.
Right. And he notices, because it's very obvious, that Sheridan is on to something, but he's not sharing it. And I think Sheridan's doing it more to protect Garibaldi. But from Garibaldi's perspective, it's like, I know that you and I are not like Sinclair and I were, and that you're not going to confide in me about everything, but like you got to give me something because I am your chief of security. And it's fair. It's fair. By the time we get there, it's inappropriate for him to not continue sharing.
He's not shared in public. He's shared in confidence.
You were working on that, I could see. Like I saw the wheels spinning over there. I'm glad you got there. He's like, right now, I want Talia in protective custody, and I want a fugitive alert posted about Horn. And he's like, cool, done. All right, I get it. You'll tell me when you're ready.
Yep.
And this is when Abel shows up at Amanda's quarters. And she's like, oh my God, I thought you were dead. And he was like, I mean, kind of. And
I
at
think
first,
I was.
you're not sure, but I think this is part of phase 2. Was discrediting Amanda Carter. Because this is all part of his program that he's enacting.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, they blew me up. But then your old buddy Singer found me, got me out. Snakehead Doctor fixed me up. And I've been hiding in the Tiger sector ever since. And then I got word you were coming here. And she's like, okay, but why did you kill Taro Asogi? And he's like, who? What? Who'd I kill? The man I came here to meet. They say you killed him, and there's a fugitive alert out for you. And he's like, bah, they're lying. I haven't killed anybody. I just happened to have a Free Mars guy who happened to be here when somebody got killed by Free Mars. I don't know why you're thinking it's me. I came here to see you. And I have to get back to Mars, and you're the only one that can help me. And she's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm finally in a position to help. And if anyone ever found out that I used to be a member of Free Mars, which might come out if they were to catch me, is what Abel says. He's like, oh, you mean the thing that I can tell everybody anytime that I wanted to? And she's like, did you really come here to blackmail me into smuggling you back to Mars? Because that was never your style. I mean, you blew people up, but you weren't a jerk about it. He goes, I've changed. And she's like, Abel, what's wrong? Because all of a sudden he's like, help.
Convulsing.
He looks like he could have hurt himself. This actor is convulsing so hard because there's the part where he's like, losing control. And he like falls down and starts seizing. And he is so committed to this. He's like, anybody got an Alka-Seltzer? I'm having fun with that. Anybody got this? And this is when we go back and it's Talia and Garibaldi because they've taken her back to her quarters. And he's like, there's only one way in. I have a detail on it. It'll take an army to get in. So if you need to go somewhere, call the guard post. They'll sign you an escort. Just try to relax, enjoy yourself, and we'll get the guy. And she's like, Mr. Garibaldi, I was just going to have a cup of tea to soothe my nerves. Would you like one? And he goes, well, since I'm chief of security, I guess seeing that you're secure is my job. And I was like, ooh, now there's some rationalization. I'm having safety tea with Talia right now.
I'm ensuring her safety.
He goes, tea just happens to be my third favorite thing in the universe.
T is literally in his job title of chief of security.
Tea, correct.
Try to relax. Enjoy yourself. We'll take care of this guy.
Miss Garibaldi, I was just going to make a cup of tea to soothe my nerves. Would you like one?
Well, since I am chief of security, I guess seeing you're secure is my job. And tea just happens to be my third favorite thing in the universe.
That's why it's his third favorite thing in the universe, which apparently JMS addressed. And he was like, no, his real third favorite thing in the universe is anything that someone of the opposite sex is doing. So, like, if Talia is going to have tea, that's his third favorite thing in the universe.
In that moment.
If she was going to watch TV, that would be his third favorite thing in the universe. Whatever she's doing is his third favorite thing in the universe. And this is when we go back up and it's Ivanova. Because poor Ivanova, while everyone else is fucking around, is always left to suffer the logistical fallout of whatever's happening because they've stopped everyone from leaving.
Right.
So they're like, hey, the captain of the Matheson is demanding an update on his departure. And she's like, tell him to go away. Tell them all to go away. And this is when Sheridan shows up. And he's like, how's it going? She's like, we've had 20 complaints, 6 formal protests, and 1 threat, and all in the last hour. The natives are restless. And he's like, all right, let him go. And she's like, oh, what about the murderer? And he goes, I don't think he's trying to leave yet, which is... He makes a couple of really bold statements.
Yeah.
He wanted a witness. I don't think he's trying to leave yet. And I get that he's supposed to be like, I'm intuiting the motives of this person. But it just feels like Roland levels of intuition because we just got done reading The Dark Tower. And and Roland will do this where he'll be like, oh, he's following us or whatever. And they're like, how do you know? And he's like, I just do. That's what this feels like. I just do. Is Sheridan a gunslinger?
Ooh.
That would explain why he can't hold a gun, because he does not shoot with his mind. He shoots with his heart. And he has not forgotten the face of his father. I think an argument could be made that yes, because the gunslinger is like part diplomat, part...
Knight errant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if Babylon 5 was also inspired by the Dark Child Roland to the Dark Tower game. I mean, everything else was. And he's like, okay, great. Well, you've got this. I'm going to my quarters. There's something I want to check out. And then he leaves Ivanova to go home. He's like, anyway, I'm going to go home. Let me know if you need anything.
It's good to be
I
the
need
captain.
everything. I need all the things. And then we do my favorite thing in the universe. My favorite thing in the universe, which is come in at the end of a joke.
Yeah.
Because Garibaldi goes, so then my pop says to the guy, 50 credits for a salami. I could have killed you for 20. And they're like, ah, what was the first part of that joke?
That's the joke. There is no first part.
No first part. He just said that, and Talia's like, ha, 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 ha. She goes, your father was quite a character. And he's like, oh, yeah, he was the best. He cooked like an angel, swore like the devil, and taught me everything I know about security. This was cute.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he got Torg syndrome, and he just kind of faded away. And I miss him. And she's like, oh, yeah, I never really knew my mother and father because I was taken from them at 5 and given to the Psi Corps. And then she proceeds to act. We get like a soft glow around her. She's smiling. It's presented to the audience as if this is a heartwarming story of when she was 5 and she missed her parents. And the Psi Corps assigned her a comforter.
A buddy.
A buddy who would help her ease her transition into Psi Corps because she was never going to see her fucking parents again.
And this buddy like telepathically massages her into feeling safe.
Yeah, took her fear away from her.
Yeah.
Took her grief from her.
Yep.
Took it from her. Didn't soothe her, didn't talk to her, soothed her with presence, but also with like by literally removing her sadness. And she's like, she was so nice. Of course, then the next year she was given to somebody else. And you're like, wow, this is terrifying. That's fucking horrifying. That's as horrifying as the whole concept of Harry Potter, which I will not get into today. But your child could have an ability over which you have no control that forces them into a world over which they cannot opt out of. that you as a parent have no way of protecting them from.
Right.
It's fucking wild. She was like, it was wonderful because she left. All that was left was this warm, safe place in my mind. And Garibaldi's like, oh, that's horrifying. Just keep smiling. Just keep smiling. And then he gets a call over his link. And it's Sheridan asking him to come to his quarters. And so he's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I know we were bonding right now. Finally. Fucking finally. He's got to be like, God, you're cock blocking me right now. But I got to go. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Thank you, Mr. Garibaldi. And he's like, my pleasure, Miss Winters. It's a sweet moment.
Yeah.
This is a sweet moment. I like season 2 Garibaldi so much. This is so nice. Because he's had he went through a lot personally. He went through like a major failure, and he's having to sort of reconstruct his confidence in who he is as a security professional. And I'm glad we're here for this. It's a good moment. Because he goes to visit Sheridan, and he's like, okay, here, Garibaldi, look at this. And he hands him some information. And he's like, Project Lazarus? I've literally never heard of. This is another one where it's like 13, bad number. Lazarus mean come back from dead.
So I wonder if this was the inspiration for part of the Mass Effect story.
Oh, don't you get brought back?
Yeah, because in one of the Mass Effect games, I think it's the third one. At the beginning, you're in your ship, you're flying around, and then boom, your whole ship gets blown up, and you as the main character get blown out into space. And then you wake up in episodes in like operating rooms because they're reviving it, and there's all this like microscope views of like cells and neurons and things being like reanimated.
Okay, because you're brought back to life.
And I'm pretty sure it's called Project Lazarus.
Of course
too.
it is, because Lazarus mean come back from dead.
But they don't put a backdoor computer in your brain because what was
Why
the
wouldn't
character's
you?
name?
The smoking man? I just remember the guy. I just remember you mining planets for hours and the random guy that would be like silhouetted against an image of the universe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember about Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And falling asleep to it. 'Cause it was fun. It looked like a really fun game, but the kids were young the last time you played through it. So
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of story. But
yeah. Well, it had.
Yeah. Anyway, so Commander Shepard gets brought back from the dead by
Yeah.
Project Lazarus. But the thing that makes Commander Shepard like valuable is their own autonomy. So they don't do anything to compromise
Yeah.
Commander Shepard's autonomy.
Anyway, Sheridan's like, it was part of the Earth Force cyber experiments back in the late 30s, the 2030s. So close, soon, probably the correct timeline for people experimenting on brains.
Yep.
The cyber experiments were a bust. Oh, 2230s maybe.
Yes, 2230s, which
Yeah.
would be like 100 years from now.
22?
200.
It's like,
Sorry, I was
what?
doing I was looking at Mass Effect
I'm
stuff.
an engineer. I'm
and
not good at arithmetic.
I was in the 2100s in the Mass Effect series.
Okay, your brain had shifted already. Well, welcome back to 2025. I also don't like it here. Can we fast forward or rewind? He's like, the cyber experiments were a bust. Humans can't function with machines in their brains. That's what Garibaldi says.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad we learned that.
Full machines in their brains.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah. That's why they decided to use subjects on the verge of death. Accident victims, wounded soldiers, the kind of people that people wouldn't miss. And Garibaldi's like, are you kidding?
That's probably the more important selection criteria for these kinds of experiments.
Yeah. Morgue records can be faked. This is going to be fine.
Yes.
And Garibaldi's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's gross. He goes, grotesque, but gross. Gross. And Sheridan's like, oh my God, it gets better. Are you ready? He's so excited about this. He's like, the theory was to hardwire the subject's brain with computer intelligence that kept the brain functional while the body was repaired. And then using telepathic deep scan, the subject was fixated on the moment of his death, shutting down all conscious thought. And then the computer takes control while the subject is dying over and over in his subconscious. I think that might have been the premise of the second season of Sense8, which was also written by JMS.
Right. Well, in there, it was the target that had been modified was being piloted by a person,
yes,
not
by
by
somebody
a
else.
brain in there.
Similar concept,
a computer in their
though.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, using a puppet body to
do stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's why Miss Winters said that Horn was clinging to the thought of his death as if it was the only thought he had, because it was literally the only thought he had.
Yeah.
Then Garibaldi's like, hold the fuck on. Are you saying that Horn is a cyber zombie? So Sheridan goes from sharing absolutely fuck all to being like, I think I figured
I have a theory.
I think I figured it out. And Garibaldi's like, oh, hang on. And Sheridan goes, I'm saying he might be if his body was recovered after the blast. And Garibaldi's like, or, and I'm just spitballing here, intelligence was wrong again, and Horn was never even in the ship that was blasted. And Sheridan's like, I mean, that would be the simple explanation, and ordinarily, I'd go with the simple explanation. Would you? Would you? It doesn't really feel like that's the truth. He's like, a known Free Mars terrorist kills a man in front of witnesses and leaves her alive. Later, he kills another man to get to that witness and leaves her alive again. Why? And Garibaldi's like, maybe he's squeamish about killing women? And he's like, or
he subconsciously is aware that this is a telepath who
or
can
Talia
see the thing
is waking
wrong.
him up every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hole in your mind.
They have offloaded some of Garibaldi's personality traits onto Sheridan. We've created sort of this interesting. Garibaldi still gets to be Garibaldi. He didn't lose anything.
But a lot of the more out there theorizing.
Yeah, Sinclair really relied on Garibaldi's fringe knowledge.
Yeah.
Whereas Sheridan is like, I also brought cards to the table.
Hold my beer.
Let us play together.
Yeah.
I also have a deck of cards. Because remember there's that one episode where we fussed about it for a bit about whether he was querying the internet or whether he was like, whatever.
Querying his own personal database.
Right, where we surmise that maybe Garibaldi had some sort of his own personal database of information. I think he may have more contacts than Sheridan.
Yeah.
But I don't think, but they have the same, this is why I'm saying they're more like buddy friends and less like mutual support friends.
Right, because they're both very focused on spending time gathering information and investigating like the real deep currents.
Well, their minds work in similar ways where it's like, okay, so the Free Mars guy did it, but where they don't trust everything at face value.
Right.
Which is interesting. But Garibaldi does that because he's been betrayed so many times.
Right.
Sinclair does that because he's curious. Two different reasons, but the roads to get there led to the same place.
Yeah.
He's like, something that made Horn realize who he really was for a moment. That's what Talia is doing. It must be playing havoc with his programming. And Garibaldi's like, I cannot believe you almost have me believing you. And Sheridan's like, I mean, it's a burden and a curse to be so handsome and so charismatic. And he's like, I'm not sure I believe it myself. But if it's true, that would mean there's a way to locate him. And this is when we come back to Carter, Amanda Carter, because Abel Horn passed out. And after demanding to see Talia Winters, he was like, Talia knows what's happening. She can help me get her. And so she's calling Talia to get her to come over. And we pretty much just cut to her talking to her. And she's like, can you come meet me? And Talia's like, sure, in half an hour. And all she had to say was like, I'm still interested in doing what Asogi wanted to do. So come over. And Talia was like, absolutely. I'm on my way. And this is when we come back to Garibaldi and Sheridan in Garibaldi's office. And Sheridan is sitting at Garibaldi's desk. And he's like, this is a long shot, Because my information on Lazarus is like 20 years old. I got it way back when I was 15, whatever. whenever I was younger.
Just the documents that he got.
I'm teasing.
Okay.
He's like, but according to the files, the computer power crystals emit a low level of benign radiation. So it wouldn't ordinarily show up, but if we can reconfigure them to look for it, we should be able to see it.
Yeah.
This is when Garibaldi gets a call from Zach Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Miss Winters is requesting an escort for a business meeting in Red 7. With who? Amanda Carter. And they're like, okay, that's a go, Zach. Just come through Red Alpha. I'll join you at point 6. Because he's like, I'll come with you. Route this way, and I'll rendezvous.
And Sheridan's struggling to get the computer to do what he wants it to do.
Yeah, it's not showing up. He's like, oh man, the element is definitely out of date. It must be emitting something else, or I'm using the wrong code or whatever. And Garibaldi's like, give me a minute. Why don't you let the wizard have a go?
This has been me on many occasions.
This is
let me have a try.
I got this.
Getting the computer to do what you want, and then I try for a few minutes. It's like I don't have time to like deep dive into this and spend 6 hours like in front of the screen making this work. My initial attempt, my hunch did not work. So good luck. Yeah.
The ultimate confidence with which he approaches this is really what resonated with me. Because he's like...
very familiar in my life.
He goes, you just cross-reference with MedLab files, find the updated element number, log with the E-systems, and voila! And then the door starts opening and shutting and opening and shutting because he just made the door malfunction. And he goes... Oh, it's
trickier than you thought.
And then he's just like, anyway, have a great day. He leaves.
Leave him with an even bigger mess.
And Sheridan goes, thanks, Mr. Wizard. And this is when Garibaldi shows up and he's like, Miss Winters, it's not a good idea to be roaming around the station. And she turns and looks behind her and there's like a horde of security people following her. There's at least 3.
Yeah.
At least 3 in proximity to her, much less whatever else anybody else might be doing.
Yeah, we don't know if anybody's ahead of her clearing the path.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm hardly roaming. And Garibaldi also looks back and he's like, oh yeah, no, I guess not. So what's up? And she tells him, Amanda Carter wants to do the Ahsoki thing, so like, I gotta go. I think it would be really great if I can get this to work because it would be like a memorial to Taro. And they can kill a good man, but not a good idea. And Garibaldi's like, okay, fair. You go do what you need to do. We'll be right here. We're not going to do a sweep of the quarters or anything at all. This could never, ever be a trap.
So when you're escorting somebody, you clear the destination too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There has not been a guard on Miss Carter's room.
Yeah. You don't know where this guy is. He could just as easily be in here. And getting Amanda Carter to call Talia to her.
Yeah.
That would not be outside the realm of possibility, even remotely.
Thing for somebody to just go in.
It's a studio apartment. Just open the door and be like, nope, you're good. Are they hiding under the bed? No.
They let Talia go in without even looking through the door.
Well, she's a telepath.
They literally turn around and look away from the door before Talia goes in.
Right, because he pops out as soon as the door opens and she walks in. He's like, Papa, I got you. Make one sound and I'll kill you. And then we go back to Sheridan, who has fixed the door and is now trying something else.
Yeah.
And he's like, that should do it. Computer, begin scan. Come and sing. And it like scans whatever.
Yep.
And then we go back and it is Abel talking to Talia. And he's like, what am I? Tell me. And she's like, I don't. What? And she goes, you're a mind bender, is what he says. You saw it in my head. Tell me what it means. And she's like, pain, pain. I think she's trying to make him feel pain.
That's what I thought too.
Like, because he also wrote Eyes. And Eyes is the episode that had Gray, Harriman Gray in it. And he uses pain. So I think this is like, it's another Larry DiTillio thing. He's like, pain. Yeah, pain. I am feeling pain. Correct. Now, can you answer the fucking question? And she's like, no, pain.
But But it's not working.
Right. And then she sees his death and then the aftermath of his death, where he's going through apparently what doctors do in 2259 is stand over you with a laser and just shoot it across your eyes periodically so that you see flashes.
Yeah.
Because that's what every medical flashback so far has
It
been.
looks really cool in the camera.
Okay. And then the creepy Psy lady is like, hours now. Oh,
Was it?
Hours.
It was Talia who was friends with Ironheart, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't she use her telekinesis? And I guess to revive the discussion, is she still actually a P5 or is she a higher rating now?
Why are you dragging this dead horse back out of the closet, giving
'Cause
it a
she-
cybernetic implant, fixating it on the moments of his death, and then bringing it back to life so we can kill it again?
She should be able to do more when
I mean, she could move a penny. That's the best that we know.
but the people who have telekinesis are also much stronger P rating.
The rumor on the streets is that the telekinesis comes out at least one other time, but I don't remember.
I think it does.
And it's not in this moment for sure.
Right. I think we've forgotten.
I don't think we've forgotten. I think it's she could be killed. She could be taken away from her life.
Oh, yeah. I guess if she exposes that she has a higher P rating now.
Yeah. She can't use it in front of witnesses because anybody who scanned the witnesses would know.
Yeah. And she knows, like in this scene, that the Psychor is involved in this guy.
Right.
And so if she does it in front of him, they could find out.
Yeah. And she tells him, you were dying. They operated on you. They can rebuild you. They can make you better. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's what I wanted to do the $6 Million Man sounds.
Yeah.
They scanned you. I scanned you. There was a psychop. That's what she tells him. She was like, there was a psychop there. Psychor did something to you. There's some hinky shit happening right now. And then we go back to Sheridan when the scan is complete. And there's low-level uranium radiation detected.
Whatever. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. Woo, 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 woo. Radiation. And it's in Amanda Carter's quarters. And he's like, Garibaldi. She's in there. And he's like, Captain? Where's Miss Winters? Oh, meeting with Miss Carter in her quarters. And he's like, God damn it, the perp's inside. Get him. He's like, oh, okay, I'm on my way.
Get him alive.
So he runs over while Garibaldi goes in. But he doesn't just go in. He takes a moment to be like, okay, Jackson, you're on the left side. Hanson, you're on the right. Watch out for Talia. Remember, this guy kills by touch. Now, Zach, get the door. And they like form up first.
Yeah.
They think it through. I was like, what? Look at that. Would you look at that? They took a moment to really, get their shit together because they could be opening it directly into like a firefight. You don't know what's happening. Apparently, this entire room is blast shielded because this guy's going to blow the fuck up and not kill all the neighbors around, above, and below. So
there's the face-off with Abel.
Yeah.
And they get a little more
end of the road,
conversation.
pal. It's so good. It's so noir Garibaldi.
Yes, very much so. Very much noir showdown.
Yeah. He's like, come on, think about it. There's nowhere to go. Just drop the gun. He's like, I can't think. I die when I think. And he's like, okay, all right. Anyway.
Interesting negotiation strategy.
I
haven't heard that one before.
I don't know where to go from here, honestly. He does tell her.
They didn't cover this in hostage negotiation school.
What if the guy is already dead? Then why would he be holding hostages? Look, I'm just fringe case, okay? Fringe case. He's like, you hurt her? This is what Garibaldi does say. You hurt her, and I'll see that it takes you 10 days to die. I'm already dead, Mr. Security Man, is what Abel says.
I love he calls him Mr. Security Man. Which I think it would have like flowed just fine if Abel had called him Garibaldi.
Mm-mm.
But how the fuck would he know who Garibaldi is?
He doesn't at all. He's just here.
And that's why he calls him Mr. Security Man.
Yeah. He goes, no, you aren't, Horn. You're standing right there talking to me. Now you just listen to me. They are using you to betray your own world. That's what Sheridan says.
Yeah. You've died too many times.
But he's like, how do you know that? And he's like, you know it. You can feel it. You got to let her go. You've already died too many times. There's no need to die again. And he lets Talia go. And then he's like, okay, now put your weapon down. And Abel's like, it was the Earthers, wasn't it? It wasn't enough just to kill me. And he's like, you know what? We'll find that out together. So just go ahead and put the gun down. And he goes, Mars will never be free until the sands run red with earth or blood. And so Bruce Boxleitner has to go pew pew. And someone needs to take this man aside and show him how to hold a gun. He did a shit
Wait,
job.
Sheridan had showed up by this point? I thought it was one of the security guards.
Sheridan pops up like immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the previous episode where he has to hold the shot-off shotgun that Ivanova keeps duct taped underneath of her console, he's like, it's the most like, I've never held a weapon. You just put your hands here, right? And that's what it looks like. And then they gave him the little PPG, which admittedly is quite small.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the grasshopper from Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he just like, he keeps his elbow stuck to his side and he just holds the gun in front of him like it's a 1950s detective movie and you got to keep the gun in frame.
Yeah.
It's fine. And they end up shooting him and they're like, God damn it. I wanted to keep him. Wanted to talk to him. I wanted to learn more from him. And then they're like, oh no, he's gonna blow. So they all leave. And they whoop, whoop, and then blows up.
Right.
Which throws Sheridan down the hallway.
So ostensibly, these are like short-term, but like hotel rooms.
Yeah, well, I think she's in like the corporate secure area. I think that's what Red is.
But these are hotel rooms.
Yeah.
For like business people.
Yeah.
What about her neighbors?
Yeah. Well, I wonder if every room is blast shielded because then you couldn't have somebody come rent a room, build a really big bomb in it, and then blow up everybody in the surrounding area.
Nah, security would stop the materials from getting
Would they? I would like to remind you that all Londo had to do to get a gun on board was take the cover off and glue it to the bottom of a lamp. That's all that was required.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So then we move to Med Lab and they're checking out Talia.
Yeah, because they're like, I'm really sorry, Miss Winters. I didn't really think he was going to hurt you. That's what Amanda Carter said. She was like, I really just thought he needed help. Like, he wasn't always a terrorist. He used to be my lover. He was a bright young man, utterly devoted to the independence of Mars colony. I fell in love with him. He convinced me to join Free Mars because it wasn't a radical group at the time. And then in a tale as old as time, it eventually became radicalized and violent, and I left. And I didn't see him again until today. And Garibaldi goes, tell me another one. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And she's like, have Miss Winters scan me if you think I'm lying. Besides, I've already said enough to ruin my career. And Sheridan is in the background. He just goes, if we report it.
Only if the word gets out.
And she's like, are you proposing a deal? And he's like, yeah.
A conspiracy. Like, I'm theorizing a conspiracy.
I think we should be together on this because Taro Asogi's plan was the best hope for Mars. Did you mean that? And she's like, hell yeah. And he's like, great. Then continue to negotiate with Future Corp. Make that happen.
And if I don't see regular updates from you pursuing this,
I'm going to leak it.
I'm going to blackmail you.
Yeah. I collect secrets. He's like, I'll be glad to speak to you.
But instead of blackmailing you to give me money, I'm going to blackmail you to make the world a better place.
I'm going to force you to be a good person. She's like, I doubt they'd be interested after what happened here. And he's like, have them talk to me. Have them give me a call. I'll tell them all about it.
I'll vouch for you.
Yeah. I'll make it clear that your government had nothing to do with the murder. How? What are you going to tell him? What are you going to tell him? Are you going to tell him that a dead guy got brought back with a cybernetic implant and then telepathically locked into the moment of his own death and then was used as a murder weapon to frame Free Mars? And you think that there's a government conspiracy? Do you think that's going to help her cause? Do you think that's going to you think that's going to make this work? He's like, I'm sure they're going to go ahead. And she's like, oh, you know what? Okay. All right. I mean, okay, crazy man. It's perfectly fine. And he's like, I'm going to make sure Taro Asogi's dream becomes a reality and to keep you where you can do the most good. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell anybody because getting you out of there means somebody else could get in there and they might not be as good of a person.
Mm-hmm.
And Babylon 5
and Sheridan trusts individuals, not organizations.
Exactly. Babylon 5 loves an authority two-step. They're like, doot, I'm going to go ahead and just like follow the letter of the law, but not the spirit of the law.
Yeah.
Because I believe that that is going to get us to where we should be going, not where we would go if we followed the political machinations the way they want to be followed.
Yeah.
Which is always a good moment. Who doesn't love a underdog?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, okay, so anyway, we'll talk later. And this is when Garibaldi is like, Captain, begging your pardon, but have you gone space happy? And he's like, dude, I'm always happy in space. Pulls a... Sorry. She was an accessory to murder and attempted murder? And Talia's like, I mean, he wasn't trying to kill me. He was just holding a gun against my head. He wanted me to scan him. There was something in his mind controlling him, something he wanted me to find. And they're like, oh, okay, did you? And she's like, I mean, I saw an image, some sort of operation. And Sheridan's like, oh, did you recognize anything or anyone, a location, a face, a uniform? And she's like, nope.
No,
Nope.
No way.
Lies.
It's so unfortunate.
Lies. She knows full well that was a psychop, but she's more loyal to Psychor than Cora's mother and Cora's father. And then he's like, okay, all right, Garibaldi, take Miss Winters to her quarters. I'll help Ivanova move the traffic out. And this is when Garibaldi's like, cool, Captain. Such a hardship. Guess I'll have to do this. No problem. And this is when Sheridan and Garibaldi get to have a moment. And he's like, Mr. Garibaldi, is there something? Is there something wrong? And he's like, yeah, there's a whole fucking list, actually. Let me go ahead and start with how you knew about the Lazarus Project. And Sheridan's like, okay, all right, let's have this conversation. And he goes, you know what?
Let's talk about hobbies.
Some people collect coins. Some people collect art. I collect secrets. Black projects, conspiracies, secret organizations. They fascinate me. And Garibaldi's like, okay, so does one of those secrets include who is behind this thing? And Sheridan's like, I mean, it's kind of maybe better if you don't ask. And he's like,
which the last thing you should tell Garibaldi if you want him to not obsess about a thing is the last thing you say is you shouldn't ask.
You don't need to know.
Now he has to.
I know. He's like, well, now I gotta know. And he's like, I know you don't trust me the way that Jeff used to. But if there's a threat, and he's like, oh, no, this threat goes way beyond Babylon 5, Mr. Garibaldi. If Horn was what you say he was, then this has nothing to do with Free Mars, is what Garibaldi says. He's like, to pull something like this off would take a lot of power and a lot of money, and I think you know who it is. Garibaldi's like, I've got all the pieces. All you have to do is give me the name. He's like, all right, okay. But promise me this information will never be repeated outside this room. He's like, yeah, we don't even have cameras. It's fine.
We're not even going to repeat it in the show.
Yeah, it's never going to come back up again. I can promise so fucking hard.
This name will literally never be brought up again.
He goes, you got it. He says, okay, so for the past 6 years, there's been rumors about a rogue agency operating deep inside EarthCov. A dirty trick squad dealing in black projects and Star Chamber Justice? What the fuck is Star Chamber Justice? He's like, it took me 3 years to just get a name. Bureau 13. And the man who gave me that name died soon after. He was like 85. He lived a great life. Don't feel too sad. Doesn't say what he died of. He's like, I'm convinced they exist and that they're behind this incident. And so I wrote that Sheridan's whole motto is trust but verify with extreme prejudice.
The Court of Star Chamber was an English court that sat at the Royal Palace of Westminster from the late 15th to the mid-17th centuries, and was composed of privy councillors and common law judges to supplement the judicial activities of the common law and equity courts in civil and criminal matters. Let's see.
Well, he makes it sound underhanded. Black projects and Star Chamber Justice.
Yeah, I'm digging through the Wikipedia article.
But he goes on to be like, Ahsoka was a danger to Earth policy, so I think his death was a warning to other corporations that you don't fuck with Earth government.
The so-called Star Chamber Act of 1487 did not actually empower the Star Chamber, but rather created a separate tribunal distinct from the King's General Council. Initially well regarded because of its speed and flexibility, it was regarded as one of the most just and efficient courts of the Tudor era.
That's not a big recommendation, but okay.
Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. They gave the Star Chamber great flexibility as it could punish defendants for any action that the court felt should be unlawful, even when it was technically lawful, which meant that the justice meted out by the Star Chamber could be very arbitrary and subjective, and enabled the court to be used later on in its history as an instrument of oppression rather than for the purpose of justice for which it was originally intended.
Wow, that is such a fucking deep cut.
Many
I've never
crimes
heard
that
of
are
this.
now commonly prosecuted, such as attempt, conspiracy, criminal libel, and perjury, were originally developed by the Court of Star Chamber, along with its more common role dealing with misdemeanors and later riots and sedition.
Wow. That's wild. So it was just a court that they were basically like,
The
What-
vibes are off. We're going to punish you.
yeah, whatever you feel like justice is, we trust you. So that makes sense. So it was a rogue justice, like a totally autonomous.
Yeah, that wasn't actually bound by the actual legal system.
Okay. Wow.
It was more like
I have learned
you,
a thing.
you can bring your case to the town elder, and they will.
Yeah. They'll figure it
They'll
out in their
render a
wisdom.
judgment.
That's
Yeah.
kind of, wow, that's wild. I mean, they go on in the episode to be like, I think Horn was going to be like pinning this death on free Mars,
Mhm.
also sending a warning to corporations. And then if he had successfully gotten Amanda Carter to smuggle him back to Mars, he could have taken down free Mars from the inside
Mhm.
and also ruined Amanda Carter. So
Right.
he had a much larger role to play, but they caught him. And this is when Sheridan says, there is a spider in the web, Mr. Garibaldi,
Mhm.
and I intend to find it and kill it.
There's something pulling the strings.
Something that
Pulling the
looks like a
threads.
spider, a
Mm.
shadowy black multi-legged thing.
Ooh, nice metaphor.
Mm-hmm. This is when we go back to 13. Honestly, this whole section doesn't matter because we don't ever come back to it. But it's just the report from Babylon 5 Control, mission only partly successful.
I'm imagining this like mandala thing in the terminal
Yeah.
as ChatGPT.
Go for it. It's evil. Why not?
It's an agentic large language model.
Yeah. And this is when they're like, oh my God, it's the Psychop from the whatever, from the operation. Bum, bum, bum. And then we come back to
Bum.
Talia has found her in records and she's deceased, which means is she actually bad or is she also being controlled by Bureau 13?
I bet she's not being controlled. I bet the implication is she's running it, but
She's been removed from
she's
records.
been removed from.
Maybe. Or
She
maybe,
doesn't exist on paper anymore.
Maybe they can use, maybe it's more of like it could go either way because we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what ultimately the plan for her would have been if there
Yeah.
was a bigger one.
But
her
we've
to
had
either be-
hints of, in the Bester episode,
Be seeing you.
we had implications that the Psy-Corps is pulling the strings behind Earth Alliance government.
Oh, yeah.
And
We've had big ones, huge ones.
so this is only more that we're adding to that.
Yeah, that there is a
That
shadow
conspiracy.
organization, and the shadow organization may literally just be Psy-Corps at this point.
Right.
Yeah,
Working with the shadows.
right. I mean, it's a good moment. This was an
Yeah.
interesting episode. We got a lot of personal growth in this episode, a lot of interpersonal stuff. The only person who didn't really get any moments, like interpersonal moments, really was Ivanova. She got to be a sounding board for Sheridan in a couple of moments,
Right.
but we got a lot of Sheridan. It felt like a redemption episode from the really dumbass one that we had where he was like yelling at everybody
Mm-hmm.
because it was like
Because his old war buddy.
yeah, it really felt like a okay, let's take a step back and let's reframe that as less petulant I didn't get what I wanted, and more I am here for novel experiences and I'm willing to give anything a shot because I love the pursuit of knowledge, especially knowledge that's being denied me or whatever. And so I get that. And I think we're trying to reframe the relationship with Garibaldi. And yeah, because each captain has, or commander/captain has come with one prepackaged relationship. Sheridan's is with Ivanova. Sinclair's was with Garibaldi.
Yeah.
So I think this was a good episode. It happened. It wasn't a waste of time to establish all of this stuff because a lot of it, the shadow conspiracy is a big theme.
Right. And
because
we're just...
it's literally the shadow conspiracy. We just kind of reframe it, and which is fine.
Yeah.
It works better, I think, than having, it's like Warehouse 13. There's only so many times you can give me the number 13 and be like, they're the bad guys, before I'm like, please stop.
Right. Which
come up with a new name.
It was nice that Stephen King went with 19.
Yes. Well, I think that might have been because he was 19 when he wrote The Gunslinger. Wasn't he?
I don't know.
What's his birthday?
Let's see. He was born in 47.
Oh, no. Because it was written in 1970 or published in 1970.
Yeah. Let's see. Books.
So he was 23. I don't know why 19, but it worked. I was also glad that it wasn't 13.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a good place to leave it. I'm excited about the next episode. I don't know what it is. I haven't even looked. I remember so little of season 2, apparently. I think I'm a season 3 and 4 gal. I think that's what I'm learning about myself. So this is good. I'm really glad. And we're making it. So we live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
And everything we believe in is in jeopardy. There is a spider in the web, Mr. Garibaldi. And I intend to find it and kill it.